on the ground. I'm gonna take you again. Let me tell you one thing you never do. You never run from adversity. You never run from someone who's standing in your fucking face, sitting here, hey bud, and it's not even hostile at all. You never run. Leaders do not run.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Jimbo,
And I'm Kemper.
coming to you live from the stand. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing, man. Just got out of work and decided I'd log on for a live tonight.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
since Ernie wants to say I don't have a job, I got fired from my job. And if you didn't show us a picture, cam up, show us. Ernie, I don't have to show you anything. Simple fact is I'm not begging for any money from anybody, and you do. You're not a self-made bitch. You're just a bitch. Okay? Sorry.
Well, no, you're right. You're right. He is a bitch. I'm going to expose a bitch tonight.
More than one?
Yeah. More than
Okay.
one. Welcome in, everybody. Should we wait till we got 200 in chat before we start chatting?
No, we still got more than Easy ever had at his fucking live streams, though.
Oh my God, bro! Did
But
you
after
see any of what went down there today?
I did not. I was laughing at the description for the live stream and all that shit from his, I guess, his issues with moderators not being in his stream when he's on live stream. They should be there no matter what.
Yep.
That's the thing, man. This is YouTube, Easy. A lot of people go to a lot of chats, and a lot of people go to multiple at one time.
Mm-hmm. Well,
nobody's that fucking dedicated to your sorry limp dick ass. Okay?
yeah. If you remember, he played some stuff about when Gypsy and Sarah Smiles was in Benny Keys' chat that morning while Benny was dragging me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Devoted Warrior.
threw off on me. Like, if that's not the pot calling the kettle black,
Yep.
I don't know what is.
Well, we know he's a full-on hypocrite anyway, man. He always has been. Basically, what it boils down to is he's a spoiled little bitch that's still sucking on mama's titty and thinks everybody owes him and should owe him. But the thing is, speak easy. Like we said, for a long-ass time now, you're irrelevant. Who the fuck cares about a wrench in your fucking chat? Like, seriously, you're sad, dude. Not only are you a deadbeat, but you're stuck on yourself like you're something or somebody.
Oh, he does think he's somebody. Do you know that he lost Ja and the wrenches at the same time?
Mm-hmm. I just learned that. I just had that message come to me in Messenger as we were going live.
Chasing Justice said Easy is more than capable of modding his 36 viewers.
That's true.
I mean, it's not that hard, right? Jeez. Oh gosh. Yeah, he's a crybaby, man. Like the biggest pussy on this platform. He really is.
He's definitely a pussy. Yeah.
He might be a bigger pussy than Ernie.
Well, I told you, he's not even Ernie's level. He's like bitch level Ernie. You know what I mean? Because that's a bitch level anyway, but that's a beyond level. That's almost like a -0. You know.
Hey, Christina. And Christina is Easy's kryptonite. She said he was still saying the fact the 15-year-old was 15 when he got her pregnant today. When Toxic, or he was still denying the fact that she was 15 when Toxic called him out on it. He said the math was wrong. Lies, lies, lies. No, we've seen the math. It was laid out very good. He is just a liar.
Yeah. He knows he's caught, and he thinks that he can just say something, and well, some of them will believe him, but the more of those mamitas that he takes wrenches from, yeah, the worse it's going to get for the little bitch.
Oh yeah, more Jade will be coming out. More. Oh, we know who Jade was. Well, shit, we already know.
Yeah, we've been telling y'all motherfuckers, and y'all have been in denial, man. Like seriously.
Yeah. Back to the little skirm dog. Now, unless you've been under a rock here lately, you know that old Ernie has always claimed he did not go to basic. He was not actually in the armed services. And then all of a sudden he requests his records. And the email says the veteran's last name is Shell. Okay. So after last night, when he started talking about his son again, well, I recorded a little bit of it. And I sent it to his ex-wife, his son's mom. And she came out with some really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Christina said, my lawyer has all his info, Cash App, PayPal, and etc. Woohoo! Gonna be paying this boy.
Yeah, gonna get busted. You're gonna have to start getting that allowance from mommy very soon, bitch.
Yep, he's still not paying for his son.
Still paying $400 a month rent from mama. Come on, dude. At least Ernie's out trying to dare to be independent-ish.
Yep.
Ish. But yeah, Easy, you're a full-on joke, bro. And you prove it every time you go live and open that cocksucker of yours. Every fucking time.
Let me make this video to where it doesn't cut off in the middle of the video. I'm gonna have to take a minute and make it into a MP4 format, I think.
Oh, I got you.
So it doesn't. It still might crash, but this is a better chance when it don't right here. But I'm going to pull up the video and show you. But remember, I talked to my friend who was in the Guard 3 years before Ernie signed up and 3 years after Ernie signed up, and he doesn't remember Ernie. So I showed him that paperwork. that Ernie showed. And he said, oh, well, it looks like he signed up and never showed back up. I was like, oh, hell, how does that happen? And, well, when I talked to Ernie's ex-wife today, well, I'll just let y'all read it. Well, anyway, no, I'm going to tell you first. She claims, Ernie says he was in the military, but got a, wait for it. Should I wait for $80? $80, Ernie, and I won't tell. No, just kidding. I'm going to tell anyway. $1 million wouldn't save your ass. He got a dishonorable discharge. That's why you don't see his
DD 214 for one.
Yeah, his character of service on his
Yeah, you
paperwork.
won't. I was gonna say you won't get a DD 214 if you've been dishonorably discharged. At least that's the way I understand it.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's just like a mark, like a felony on your record. To be honest with you,
Yeah, it's not good.
dishonorable discharge. That's pretty fucked up for a guy that supports the veterans and law enforcement.
Yeah, he's really not been forthcoming with his son. That's terrible. I was just kidding, Nana Kim. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat, though. Spill the tea. Ernie is a dishonorable discharged National Guardsman who never showed up for the first day of anything. He showed up, swore in when he signed his paperwork, and then chicken shitted out the rest of the way. That's why he's had a motorcycle wreck in one story, a Jeep wreck in the other story, and bullshit all the way through.
Well, I mean, it's just like, his history of employment or lack thereof. He just ain't got the balls and go do something and work hard at it and achieve something. He wants to have the title. He wants to have the money. He wants to have all the fame, but none of the work involved. He tries to piggyback motherfuckers. He tried to piggyback you with your MMA. He tried to piggyback Chris with the Bubba Fest. I mean, hell, he was trying to do that with fucking Bama. Like, come on.
Yeah,
that's all he's done.
I actually saw a screenshot earlier when I was looking through stuff where he sent me a message saying, "Would you support my academy, man? It's going real well."
His academy?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Sure did. And, that's when he took all that money because they were going to teach people how to be bounty hunters. And he used Bama's name and then took a bunch of money and never produced the classes and then screwed everybody over and left Bama holding the bill.
Sort of like T-shirts. Sort of like hockey masks.
Yeah. Exactly like T-shirts. I'm going to save this video here and there we go. We've got more paperwork on old Ernie tonight. More exposing to do. Killer inside. Well, I mean, he's over trying to hold Anissa and traders and Sapphire hostage, like extorting them, blackmailing them. Come on up or pay me. And it just goes away. And I don't think they paid him. And he's still just cackling on panel with Pink Bo Berto. I think he's looking for an excuse not to bring anything because he doesn't have anything. I mean, we all knew about Anissa when she worked at the home or whatever, stealing the patient's medicine. Everybody knows that. So he wouldn't be exposing anything new by doing that. Let me pull up this video. It should work now. There we go.
Sons out there.
Let me pull this up. It's a 5-minute video, but some of it's reading, so I'll stop and read some.
Yeah, Josh, I wish you would have been around when all this started, because that was when it was fucking fire, dude. Like, nothing against what's been done in the past couple of days, but I mean, Ernie did have a highway run with the Bolt van from the mania that he developed from getting his ass trolled. And when I say trolled, I mean exposed. Okay? But yeah, like Nicolina, she used to, her and Rap, they were good together. They did trigger the little bitch.
Oh, yeah. You bastard. It wouldn't play. I knew it was going to screw up once. All right, let me do it again.
What was even saying?
Wrong one.
Sons out there.
Here we go.
Sons out there. I talked to him on the internet. Talked to him through Messenger. But am I getting to be a part of my son's life? No, I don't. And that might even be one of the things that's actually killing me. You know, I love my son more than anything on this world. And I'm you know, as he gets older, I'm hoping he'll realize, you know, but I keep counting on that realization to hit. I still look at him and I'm like, he's an adult now. My son's an adult. I missed a lot of good years with my son. I sure did. But what they put up to be is not true. You see, I was with my son all the way up to 2021.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
For them saying I never had anything to do with my son is wrong. Very much. He is an adult. My son's an adult. And I believe in my heart that he knows what's going on. And I believe one of these days it'll be, because I still talk to my son. He tells me he loves me, and I love my son. I love my son. My son's a tough character, and I'm glad
Fake.
that he'll live his life a lot better than what I got to live mine. And that's a fact. I know my son loves me because he tells me he loves me. I can tell it bothers him. It hurts him. To me alone, that right there is everything to me. So
Okay. First of all, Ernie, before I get to reading this, you failed your son. Point blank. You failed everybody. I would have just stayed with your story of you wasn't in the military. Because now we know you've been dishonorably discharged. That's worse than not attempting to serve. That's quitting on your country. You're a quitter. Were you hurt? No. If you were hurt, you would have got an honorable discharge. But you didn't. All right. So after hearing that, you can see Melinda says, "Good grief. I'm honestly thinking about getting a lawyer. Only problem is he doesn't have an address to be served papers. But I'm so over all this drama, and he's trying to stir up. Jeremy, is almost 19, and Ernie has never, Never, all capital letters, tried to be a part of his life or help him, or help in any way with him. I said, I know you could get a lawyer, but he is on the run from the law and no one knows where he's at. He's playing a game and getting dangerous. He's been saying he's dying of cancer and has claimed to have murdered several people. Claims he was in the military. Have you ever heard that? Of course, he claims he worked for Donald Trump and he is good friends with Trump Jr. All kinds of crazy stories. He wasn't provoked at all last night. He started talking about how he was the protector of all kids and then moved on to talk about y'all. She said, of course he did. He was supposedly in the military years ago and was dishonorable discharged. But I have no clue if that's true. I don't know how anyone could believe anything he says, LOL. He always did claim he was best friends with Trump, LOL. I'd like to see what Trump would think of him. And I said, LOL, yeah, I'd love to hear what Trump thinks. My buddy was in the National Guard. He said, according to the paperwork he showed, signed up, and he never went back, which makes sense for the dishonorable discharge. Lost my spot. And makes sense as to why he didn't claim military for a long time. Now he claims he's a veteran, LOL. Says he was in Desert Storm and the Gulf War. Neither possible, LOL. Oh, he's been proven to be a liar 1,000 times over. But some of these people let him pull the wool over their eyes. She said, LOL, I know he never done anything good in the military or anywhere else either. I'm surprised he's not met his match yet, but he will someday, and they will teach him some lessons. I said, he's crossed too many lines. There are a lot of angry people and angry cops looking for him. He claims he only weighs 127 pounds now and has gained up from 114. She said, LOL, well, eventually they will catch him. He has to be the absolute most miserable person out there. I said, yes, ma'am. I said, he looks bad, like he's been using drugs. We found track marks in his feet. His hands and feet look so nasty in the pics he shares. Sometimes he looks like he's 60. Then I showed her that little comparison picture you see there. She said, oh, wow, I didn't know he looked like that bad. That's horrible. Looks like meth. Ding, ding, ding. I said, yep, that's what everyone says. But he denies it. But he flips out and runs down the highway screaming like Shelby is chasing him and blames a gay guy for calling the cops. What'd I do to you, Phil? Anyway, it's been crazy over the last 3 years. She said he looks really bad. He needs locked up with Shelby. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he didn't have a big hand in that and then blame Shelby for it. Now, this is Ernie's ex-wife. I said, that's another thing people are claiming. They believe Ernie set Shelby up, which is what Shelby claims. But Shelby confessed and pleaded guilty eventually. Most believe they did it together. She says, I always felt like he was a big part of it. I tried to get him to admit it when we were together, and he always denied it. But I always felt like he helped. How about that? I said, he lied on the witness stand, but was never shown until Shelby gave his motion to discovery to this wacko that fell in love with him. Right, Cray Cray? Ernie had a recorded phone call to Amber. In the call, he said Shelby would confess in 2 days. And 2 days later, he did. She said, that's crazy. He needs to be right in the cell with him and let them work it out. I said, I agree. So that's a little bit of a blockbuster conversation with the ex-wife. Even the woman who bore his child spent many years and a lot of money on him. Thinks he was in on the Shelby stuff. That says a lot. Says a whole lot. It's very interesting days, Joe. And apparently Ernie told her he was dishonorably discharged.
Yep.
You know, I mean, if you're going to be married to somebody and things like that will come up on background checks and stuff like that,
Yep.
you tell them, you know, the truth. So his dishonorable discharge is a black eye, motherfucker. That's the worst kind of stolen valor.
That's like a felony, dude. That's just he don't get that though. He don't get that. But he's an inbred dumbass. So, and I'm being nice about it when I say that, because that's honestly it's inbred or meth. Arnie, you pick. Seriously, it's one of the two. It could be a combination. That's sort of in the picture there, but yeah, he's just over there like he was on Gypsies doing the fucking murder for hire, Jimbo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were playing that today. And that shit's funny as hell. I went in there and said something. Gypsy penned it. And of course, Ernie just came out with all these fucking lies. And the thing is with that murder for hire tape, it was investigated by the authorities.
FBI.
Yep. Jimbo had his lawyer and the FBI agent. They looked, he laughed, nothing happened because there was nothing to do there.
Yep.
Because they know Ernie's crazy. See, everybody in that area knows Ernie's crazy. That's why he's gotten away with so much shit for so long. Oh, he ain't hurt nothing. Oh, those are, it's always some pity party he pulls. And that's why he does the shit he does on his lives about him being stalked and harassed. Ernie, dude, I'm tired of telling you. Every person I've seen you have issues with, you started the issues. Every single person. I've never seen anybody just be out of line with you. They came and gave the same energy back to your bitch ass, actually with more energy, and you can't handle it. And that's your problem. That's been your fucking crybaby way this whole time. Play the victim, play the victim, play the victim. Meanwhile, you're attacking, attacking, attacking. And most people see it. Most people do. A lot of people still help you because you're, quote, harmless. Bullshit. Y'all don't know. And any person still helping Ernie, I hope you go to hell with him. Period. Y'all some dirty, nasty sons of bitches, and you deserve the same flames for that bitch. And it will come about. Karma has a way of playing the game perfect for little bitches like y'all. You certainly do. And y'all got some y'all got some good shit coming to you. Like Tina acts like, oh, her family was attacked and she was attacked and it was the pedophile ring and blah 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 blah. No. Like I said, even before she met Ernie, she was in Newport, Tennessee, calling businesses and business owners cannibals and traffickers. This is fact. You can go into Newport and anybody that you talk to will tell you. Yep, they're crazy. They call people cannibals. I mean, there was one day she sat and recorded the cars going by her establishment. home, whatever. And almost every fucking car, she's calling him cannibal.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that, man. You can't act foolish like that and be a business person, especially in a town you ain't from. Somebody's burning me up. Oh, it might be you. Okay. I'm going to pull up a criminal.
Tina's watching, Sam. Sorry. Go ahead, man.
What'd you say? Tina's watching?
Tina's always watching.
Yeah.
Tina's like Ernie. They get off on hearing their names talked about. They do.
Oh, yeah.
Ernie is, he thinks he's famous. And to an extent, I would agree, Ernie, but not in a good way. There's a lot of people that have brought shit out on you. A lot of people that have stepped up and said, hey, this guy's a douchebag.
Hey, easy.
I mean, hell, even the grand jury in Kentucky has said that twice.
Yeah.
You're a doucher.
How long did it take him to pay off the damn speeding ticket? 15
like,
years?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, it was like 15 years, man.
Oh, and he does not have a driver's license.
No.
His license expired in January of 23.
Mm-hmm.
We know he was not in Kentucky in January 23. He claimed he was in hospital for the entire month.
Yep.
So he didn't get on the news. Yeah. And after a year, you have to meet with a state trooper to get your license reinstated. He's not doing that. He don't have a valid driver's license.
And he won't have one again.
Yeah. He never had one that says veteran on it.
Yeah. And I was going to say, he might get one on the back end of his prison sentence, but that's the only time. He's not going to go and renew his license right now without him getting clinked. It's just going to happen that way, Ernie.
Yeah, I've seen things like that, Max Smith. Remember the way the cops used to catch felons, call them, tell them they want a free TV? Then those bait operations were so funny to watch on the news. They'd tell them that they had tickets to the games and things like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, all you got to do is call Ernie up and say, hey, I got this dick over here, and he comes running.
That's you whiny.
He said a lot of shit Night Watch, but he ain't got no damn license.
No.
He would be showing it.
So I'm gonna show a criminal record, Kemper, and I want you to tell me whose it is. And it's going to be hard for you to tell me because, well, I know you know who it is, but it seems a lot of shit's missing. So let me blow that up.
Is this the one I sent you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Criminal record here, and I'm gonna scroll down. Oh yeah, it says right here, our extensive public record search did not uncover arrest, criminal, or traffic records information for Stevie Jerome Shell. You know, who is that?
Stevie Jerome Mac Shell.
That ain't Daddy Mac, is it?
Oh, that's the original Lycan himself.
No criminal record? No murder?
No. And it was ran through more than one search.
Yeah, that comes up empty, dude. Completely empty.
Blank as fuck, right? But,
Yeah.
Ernie talks about his dad being a criminal or murderous criminal, right? And he's talked about his grandpa taking this one guy behind the barn. Said, I'm going to take him to meet Jesus, boy. Well, he said Shelby is a serial killer. And I can tell you, I've looked at Shelby's record, and it's missing a lot of bodies if Ernie's charging that. And if Ernie knew for sure, he would be able to show the proof or at least give them a name. Something, right?
Yep.
You would think.
Mm-hmm.
But Ernie gets on fucking panels and tries to paint these fucking pictures of some bullshit that ain't true. Now, I do know that it is confirmed his dad did act in self-defense.
Yeah, in his own home, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Guy came in threatening with a gun. And Daddy Mac shot him right there in front of the kids and everybody, right?
From what I understand, yeah. But how is that murderous?
That's not murderous.
No. That's nature.
Protecting your family.
Protecting yours. Exactly. Yeah. He was acting out in front of his family and he protected them. I get it. But he's not murderous by any means.
No.
You should show that clip. The
Did you send it to me?
Yeah, I sent it. I'm pretty sure I sent it to you.
I'll grab it right quick.
It wasn't. It was earlier.
Okay, I'll go get it.
Didn't I?
Yep.
I'm looking.
Oh, no, that's the one committing plagiarism. Hang on a minute. Let me go up.
Hold on.
I'm just looking at one. So, yeah, just reshoot it to me if you can.
Okay, we got this. We need to look in this.
Okay.
And then we'll look at the clip.
Okay.
Let me find it.
I'll go ahead and pull this up.
Because that will show a lot of proof of what we're about to show as well. I'm trying to find the link. I know I sent it to you. Let me look. Media files. Nope. Nope, that ain't it. Damn it. Let me go back here. Trying to. Where in the hell is it?
I don't know.
I'm looking. Give me a second. Let's see here. Here, I'm just going to send you the screenshot. I can't find the link to it, but
That'll work.
And fire in the hole.
All right. I've got Mr. Stevie Mac Shell's obit up there. You want me to read it?
Yeah, man. I don't have my readers with me.
I got you. May 5th, 1958 to February 28th, 2018. Mr. Stevie Mac Shell, 59, of Aegis Creek, passed away February 28, 2018, surrounded by his loved ones. He loved coon hunting and working in the coal mines. He was born to the late Ernest, and if you notice how that's spelled, Earnest, that's actually how you spell Ernie's name, and Jacqueline Rigney Shell, May 5th, 1958. Mr. Shell is preceded to death by his parents, granddaughter, Elizabeth Shell, brother, Roger Shell, sister, Deborah Webb, and Stevie is survived by his loving wife, Crystal Shell. Children, Adam Shell, Zachary Shell, wife, Whitney, Nicholas Shell, Ernie Shell, Shelby Shell, Whitney Fleener, and husband, Rhodey, Bethany Shell, and Melissa Shell. Grandchildren, Benjamin Shell, Lacey Shell, Barry W. Shell, Payson Shell, and Carter Shell. Sisters, Kathy Cole, husband Dan, Teresa Faye Riggs, Brenda Reddington and partner Curtis Pace, Sheila Tarter and husband Roger, Lisa Shell Wells and husband Robert, and Hazel Shell Jones and husband Cordy. A host of nieces and nephews and family and friends will also mourn his passing. Visitation will be at Aegis Mountain Assembly Church on March 2nd, 2018, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Funeral services will be on March 3rd, that was a big day, 2018, at 1 p.m. Also, the church will be with Bill Moore. Also at the church with Bill Moore and Donnie Harrison officiating. Burial will be held at Aegis Brookside Cemetery in Aegis, Kentucky, with family and friends serving as pallbearers. Not Ernie. Mount Pleasant Funeral Home is honored to serve the family of Mr. Stevie J. Shell.
Yep. And that reminds me. I've always thought his dad passed away in 2014, and I've said that a few times, and yes, I was incorrect. But it also, it explains a lot on, because if you remember, most of his hospitalizations were 2018, 2019, 2020. And then, of course, at least, one or two that we know of since he's been to YouTube?
Yep.
So that explains a lot of these highway runs, just the timing of this, his brother's trial, all that shit. I mean, he was disowned. You get it? Like, it triggered him. I get it, man. I don't know what I would do if I lost my dad. I know one day I will, but when you're carrying a lot of this shit that he's doing to people and he's been involved with, and you guys know what it is. I mean, we could sit here and just list things all night fucking long. But when you're doing that, dude, that's a lot of shit to carry. That's a lot of fucked up bullshit.
Well, hello, not that Christine. Hey, James.
So he just, yeah, he bullshits. His dad was not murderous.
Yeah. I remember when your dad passed away, James. I know you took it hard. Right here on the screen, the Courier Journal, Louisville, Kentucky, which is the biggest newspaper in Kentucky. It was at that time, especially. Lexington Herald might be close. It might be a little bit bigger now, but those are the two major newspapers in the state. Aegis man fatally shot after argument. A Harlan County man was fatally shot and another man was charged with murder after two argued Saturday, police said. Dewey Curry, 41 of Aegis, died of a single gunshot wound to the head about 11:35 p.m., police said. Curry and Steve Shell, also of Aegis, got into an argument at Shell's home, police said, and Shell, who was drunk, shot Curry with a revolver. Oh, we've always heard it was a shotgun, haven't we?
Yeah.
Shell was taken to the Harlan County Jail where he was held without bond.
Yeah. And, a guy that is murderous, and he did this, right? So if he was such a badass, wouldn't he have a felony? You know,
Yeah.
you would think, but he doesn't. He don't have shit on his record.
No.
Nothing. Not that we see. Multiple different searches, same person, different places. You come up with the same. But Ernie sits there and talks about him, his brother, all these people that are such bad people. But yeah, the only one that he can even roll with, he took it and multiplied it. His brother, yeah, his brother did take a man's life.
Taylor.
But his brother did take a man's life. But he didn't take multiple lives like he tells it.
Yeah, Ernie also claims, he's killed so many people. Listen, y'all. I do believe Ernie was involved in the Ronnie King murder, but I don't think Ernie's killed nobody else. I don't think he's killed. Well, I know he's lying about killing two of Thomas Niedermeyer's friends. That's just a made up story.
And
I know he's lying about killing Kemper's friend. That's just a made up story. I mean, I think Kemper would know about it, and I think Thomas Niedermeyer would know about it.
yeah.
That's just to try to make him look, or try to make him look big and bad, or try to scare people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't nobody here scared of you, boy.
Sad.
Malone Black knows the history a little bit.
But yeah, Ernie tells these really tall tales, but never has a receipt to prove what he says. And he says it with such conviction, like it's the fucking law. Well, if you're that convinced and you got that much passion about it, show us the fucking receipts. Show us what you claim. That's literally how this got started with us. That's how it happened. You made claims, we said prove it. You're like a pedophile. You're a human trafficker.
Yeah, Mom, that's never been confirmed anywhere that I know of. I don't know anybody that backs that story.
No, actually, his own sister said his mom thinks that she's a werewolf and a vampire.
Yeah.
The little boy in that video talks about it too. And that's his grandma. He couldn't be any, he might be 7 or 8 or something in that video. But it's the point, man. Like, Ernie, you're so full of shit. You put your mom's own mental crisis out there on the fucking YouTube streets to try to push a fucking werewolf story.
Angie, yes, I believe that.
You're fucking sad.
I do believe he did tie somebody up and walked away. Why he would brag about it, I don't know. But yeah, I do believe that.
He was probably on one of his bingers at the time and hadn't slept for 4 days and just rambling on like he does.
Yeah. Not that, Christine, he said they used Velcro straps and puffy cuffs or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I already tried to make it sound like she did it, but you can't tie yourself completely up, right?
Mm-mm.
Can't do it. So I saw where you said you had a clean record and your dog shit on it. Oh. Not that, Christine, are you one of the ones who was lost your rent today?
Yeah, I'll say this. On Shelby's record, he's got a lot of charges, and I mean a lot, but he literally only has the one homicide, murder, whatever you want to call it.
James, that's what he showed. Wasn't it Kemper NGB 22?
I think so, man.
Yeah, that's what he showed. He didn't say what it was for. He didn't show the character service. All he points out is that it says the veteran's last name is Shell. Well, I guess that's because he technically enlisted. They label him that way for his benefits or whatever, even though he doesn't have. Is he triggered now? Surely not.
Well, is he live still?
I think so. Let me see.
Oh shit! We should stream it.
Yeah, he's still going. Let's see what he's saying. You playing music?
I don't know.
Ain't
If I
doing
click on
nothing.
it, it's going to boot me from panels.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I got it pulled up.
Relationship. But I'm going to get off here and go spend some time with my husband because
This is really taking my energy. But at least everybody knows this person is a serial stalker. This sting operation that we put up. And I hated to use Anissa and traders and everything like I did, but I knew that Pink Bow would show.
Oh, shut the fuck up. You dumbass. You no shit. I knew that Pink Bow would take the sting operation, take the sting bait.
And
What's up, YouTube days?
What was the sting anyway?
He said like sapphire is blue, but not the color you paint, or something was the name of his live. And then he started saying that he was going to out Anissa because of trader sins, and they could pay him and he wouldn't do it. And then he allowed Pink Bow up on panel eventually, and Mr. 303 or whoever he is, and it was just a shit show.
Oh,
man.
God.
Just a shit show.
Damn, Ernie, you stooping even lower, man. You used to at least try to, pretend that Duke or David or somebody like that, bounty hunters on phone calls that you've supposedly worked with. But dude, if you had arrested someone, believe us, we'd know. You wouldn't shut up about it. You've not done any of that shit, bro. Not once. You talk the game, but you ain't got the fucking balls to do any of the shit that you claim you do. You ain't got a fucking hair on your peaches, bitch.
Nope. Not even
You
hair on
wouldn't even
peaches.
show up for the military, dude. Like, you think you're going to do anything? No, fuck off with your dumb shit. You're an idiot.
Yeah. I don't even know why he signed up, man. Just to quit. Be a quitter. Be a pussy.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of pussies, let me show you this content thieving pussy right quick.
Oh.
And this right here is a pussy.
Mm-hmm. Like a gaping gash.
Vicious. Now, I don't know how many of you know, actually, but did you know that Mama T's father is actually an RSO?
You don't say.
What?
I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but yes, Mama's father had actually abused the fuck out of her, which explains why she acts like a fucking goddamn little girl that has daddy issues, which is really interesting because I just learned this last night after I, diagnosed her for being a little girl with daddy issues. I just didn't know how fucking deep it went until I started, digging into the research a little bit. And lo and behold, there was her daddy on an RSO list. And don't worry, we're going to be going ahead.
He must have been looking at our content.
Expose that for what it is. And then, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe Mama T will want to, come have a psychology session with me, and we can explore exactly how she feels about her experiences. Now, mind you, I'm not here to capitalize on her trauma.
No.
I'm here just to point out the fact that you do have daddy issues.
No.
And the reason I have to point that out to you is because you lie and say that you don't.
Shut the front door.
Dude.
Vicious. Now, I don't know how many of you know, actually, but did you know?
Well, let me tell you something. That guy right there must be one hell of an investigator.
Yep. Didn't take long to just click on the Stan's videos and
good
find
shit
it.
right there.
That shit, dude, like a year and a half ago, we were calling her out for having daddy issues and her daddy being an RSO and all that shit, bro. Actually, it was longer than a fucking year and a half.
James, are you still in here?
So fuck us off, birdie bitch. Fucking sad.
Yeah, we done exposed that a long time ago, dude. Long time ago. You're way.
Did you know?
You're way behind, old boy.
I'm gonna say he sounds like he's sliding 20 cocks down his throat.
Yeah. I hear him and his weird old buddy are planning on coming out here with guns and flyers.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, kitty, 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 kitty.
Yeah, you got that right, Taylor. Xander and Tina are so broke and want attention back. They'll side again with Ernie. Desperation. Right.
100%.
And that's the thing. They said Predator Hunter Nation never died. Oh, it very much did, bitch.
Just went to sleep, he said.
Huh?
Oh, no, you didn't go to sleep. You got knocked the fuck out, bitch. James, were you in the guard? You get a sign-on bonus, right? One of my lovely subscribers, members, sent me a message and said, I bet they got a sign-on bonus. That's why I signed up.
Yeah.
Rick, was it possible that Ernie got his sign-on bonus, got his GED, and then walked away?
Wouldn't surprise me. Not at all.
Now, I know a couple of you are saying, I've seen it, his GED is from Kentucky, but he's not saying he served military in Tennessee. Tennessee was a state guard. It's not military. He's saying the Kentucky National Guard helped him get his GED. So his GED should be from Kentucky.
Yeah.
He probably ran after signing and got an ELS. What's ELS stand for, James? Look at the year. The year on here, it says, let me look at it. It's date reported 8/21/1999. So that's the year he claimed he went in, right? So that adds up. On the one I'm looking at. I mean, there's every chance in the world it could be photoshopped.
Yeah. But I mean, it does. I mean, when you think about it, and we've said this before, a buildup of bullshit from his oldest kid. Things like signing and running for the military, pretending to be a bounty hunter, law enforcement. You think his dad didn't know about this shit? He did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that buildup is what got his ass disowned. That's why his dad said he didn't want him at his funeral. That is a hate. That is a hate. You can't avoid that shit. Yeah, I'd be running down the highway too, Ernie, if I'd done all this shit to people, got disowned, banned from my dad's funeral. I'd be, man, I would. But I guarantee you one thing, I wouldn't be dabbling in the fucking shit you do with meth and everything else, man. Nope.
He's destroyed his own life. He's destroyed his own life. Tina wants to blame it on everybody else. Ernie wants to blame it on everybody else. If you just tell the truth about yourself and be who you are, you would have went a lot farther, buddy. James said, meaning he didn't make it 180 days. Ain't that what they gave him credit for on his discharge paper? Didn't they say, wasn't it like 180 days? So that makes sense, James. And James, do you have veteran on your driver's license? He said that would mean you want to come up a minute, James?
Yep. That's pretty much. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
When Ernie's gone from this earth, he ain't gonna be buried with the family.
No.
Not even close to it. But that, yeah, dude. You did a lot of shit.
We'll text you a link.
I'd have disowned your ass.
Oh, yeah.
Your dad probably just took so much bullshit from you, Ernie, that he just said, fuck you.
Can you imagine what his family went through with that guy?
Dude, I couldn't. That's fucked up. I mean, look at the shit we go through with his ass. You know what I'm saying? Imagine him just, you. Wasn't it you? Yeah, I think I sent you a screenshot of him admitting that he locked his sister in closets. Melissa.
Yeah.
When she was a little girl. Yep, he sure did. But he was also saying the Mac was alive and well, living in Wisconsin.
What's up, James?
What's up, guys?
So,
Just so y'all know, me and James squashed our beef a long while back.
Yeah, a lot of misinformation was shed under that, and I apologize for that.
Yeah,
But
me too.
yeah, the Ernie shell thing, as far as the NGB 22. So if we could ever find out what his actual discharge was for, it breaks down into multiple things. Either he had an early discharge, early level separation, or ELS, meaning he didn't even make it 180 days, and they just threw him out and that's the paper they give you. You're not considered a veteran. You're not considered anything.
Do they do that at 180 days?
It's possible because the state's always behind and it takes forever.
Okay, I was going to say, because they gave him credit for, I think, exactly 180 days.
If he went over that, then he could have got an OTH discharge, which means it's other than honorable. That's what an OTH is. Basically means that you just got fired from the military. And that can actually show up on your record. And then, obviously you had the dishonorable, which I don't even think that he ever shipped out to basic or anything.
He didn't.
And for that reason, I'm going to lean more towards an ELS, meaning that he had the intentions of signing up, and then whenever he signed up, he just ran. And at that point, you're not considered a veteran, you're not considered anything.
Right, and that's why he wouldn't have a veteran on his license.
Right. Now, I do have the option of having it on mine. And you actually remember the sergeant that I spoke to, which I won't mention his name, but back when we run the show at London, I actually run into the sergeant. That was my sergeant when I was in. Now I got discharged.
Was he the one running it up there?
Yeah, he was running it at the time. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know him pretty good.
Yeah. Whenever I got my discharge, I actually went out under a medical because I blew my knee out. So I actually requested, because they was going to give me a medical, I actually requested to get an ELS because I was at 184 days. So I actually got mine degraded down to an ELS, meaning that my time of service was never accounted for because I got injured prior to. So I don't consider myself a veteran because I have a lot of respect for the military. And when I spoke to the sergeant was there, he goes, but you're in a different case scenario. In my situation, my heart was there, like I wanted to serve, but my body actually ended up failing me.
Hey, China. Hey, Toxic.
So it was one of those really weird situations.
Right. Well, and that happens. Let me ask you something. Can you log into your e-benefits?
If I remember all my stuff. God,
I was wondering what yours would look like. Because does anybody have the Ernie's separation paperwork that he's posted? Nancy said his character of discharge would be in box 24, which is redacted on Ernie's.
Yeah, it's redacted because he don't want to show that it's ELS, meaning that he was never a veteran in the first place.
Oh.
So which is stolen valor.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely stolen valor.
Yeah, so I'd say it's an ELS discharge, and that's the reason why he doesn't want to show that, because it would just consider him to never be a veteran in the first place.
Wow. Well, that shed some light on some things. What year? What year did you sign up?
2009.
Oh, you're a lot younger than that.
I was 2009. I went and signed up. Obama had taken office, and they actually done away with all my sign-on bonuses. But prior to that, I think it was like $10,000, depending upon how you scored on the ASVAB.
Yeah.
So he would have had to went and done the ASVAB and everything, and with them helping him, if he is stating that they helped him get his GED, then they forced him to take the ASVAB as well. And it's
Yep.
possible that he may have not even qualified to join.
I was about to say that would that be possible? You know, like
Yeah.
you score so low on it, and they're like, "No, we can't have you around shit."
Yeah, it's one of those situations. I mean, obviously they're wanting the best of the best, but that would have qualified him for his job based on what he got on the ASVAB, and you can still do if you really wanted to push it. You all could actually do a request for his records. That's public information.
No
There's a
shit.
way
Really?
of going about it. Yeah, there's a way of going about it through the Freedom of Information Act. You can actually do a request.
No shit. All right, that'd be
Josh,
cool.
you scored 93 on the ASVAB.
It won't show
Yeah,
it won't show his score on it, but
I
Right.
was at 94.
I scored a 98, which was actually qualified me for any job in the military. But the way
Yeah.
it works is when you go into MEPS, which our MEPS is located in Knoxville. When I went in there, I was like, "Oh, you done so great on this ASVAB. You can be a truck driver because that's all we got available." And that's
no
kind of
shit.
how they, that's kind of how they pulled me in.
I got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at going into the military, and then my grandfather, that was a lifer in the military, he told me, "If you go in the military, I'll slap the shit out of." And I
Dumbest
was
thing
like,
I ever
"Okay."
done was going to the National Guard. I wish I'd went to the Air Force or Navy. It'd been
Yeah,
smart.
well,
I served 4 years of ROTC while I was in school, which would have
mhm.
given me the benefit of carrying that over into my next, because I served all 4 years of high school ROTC. So when I would have come out, I could have at least enlisted as an E2, E3
Yeah.
through the Guard. And then I could have actually had them pay for my college, went to a college that had more ROTC and got into officer training and actually been an officer. But
Yeah.
things just didn't unfold that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think at the time that I took the ASFAB, I was like 2 points below being able to do like medical or whatever, as far how they do the jobs and what you score and everything. And I was like, no, because I'll end up and I'll have to go into the military and have to work on cars, trucks, that kind of stuff. And I ain't trying to
Well,
do all that shit if I don't have to.
if you ever sign in, the job they offered me, which was an 88 mic, which would have been my MOS, basically after I signed up, I'm like, oh, this is going to be one of the easiest jobs. And then I got to talking to a few of the recruits, and they was like, you realize how stupid you are because you're the biggest target out on the field. You're driving a 5-ton truck. And I was
Yep.
like, oh, okay.
Yep.
So
You're the one that's having to zig when zag and zig and stay
mhm.
away from it. Yeah, it ain't no
IED
good.
finder.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think most likely that's what happened with Ernie is he's got an early leave separation. Um, and a lot of times that's even related that if you claim that you have a medical condition afterwards,
Mhm.
like if you lie on your paperwork and say you didn't have this, but then the MEP doctor finds out you did, you can get in trouble for it. But a lot of times they'll just disqualify you and they'll give you an ELS, which is an early leave separation, or he got an OTH, which is other than honorable discharge, which basically means he had some kind of bad conduct, failed drug screening, whatever the case may be. He could have got an OTH, which is
Oh.
about the same as it's kind of the same as having, you might as well say it's just as bad as having a dishonorable.
Yeah.
Because he disobeyed an order. It could have been fighting, abuse of a position, disobeying an order. So a lot of that carries over. And even with that, you may even find it hard to get a civilian job after getting out of the military because of that other than honorable.
That's what I was thinking. Doesn't that taint you?
Yes, it will. An OTH will completely taint you because it goes on your record. Same as a dishonorable.
I'm going to send Karen a link. Let her come up and chat with us a minute. And I'm going to pull up Ernie's discharge. Let you look at it the best you can. It's actually, let me send that to you too. I don't know if you can look at it while you're on here, but
Yeah.
I'll send it to you that way in case it doesn't show up good on the screen, but I'll pull it up for everybody else too.
And I did notice somebody else in the chat did ask this, did James find a job? Yes, I did find a job. I was going through a lot of stuff, so yeah, I ended up accepting a new job as a manager. So let's take a look at this. That's an NGB. I can tell you what it is.
So let me ask you this: would him having any of those things on his paperwork, would that keep him from getting denied a firearm?
Depends. It can vary.
Because we know he's on a list. He's been flagged. He can't buy a handgun.
Soldier was discharged without personal notice per NGR 680. Yeah, so they mailed him his NGB 22 form.
Yeah, he requested it. He got that in an email. See, he blacked out a lot of shit there. But
yeah, the one that you need is that characters of service number 24. That actually shows what his discharge actually would be.
right, and he's got the whole line blocked out. So he's hiding that on purpose, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have been the one that tells exactly what kind of discharge he received.
Some people even think this is fake too. I'm gonna pull it up and show y'all. But here's Karen. Karen was a captain in the Army. Karen, is that right?
Hey, what's up?
Now, she would have received the DD-214. If you're active duty military service personnel, you actually receive your DD-214. With the National Guard, it's just a little bit different. We do the NGBs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was what's your name? Or like what do you go by on YouTube?
James.
Oh, okay. Hi James, I'm Karen. Yeah, I looked into that. And so National Guard soldiers, when they go to trade aux, so let's say you go to Fort Benning for whatever, or you go to Fort Leonard Wood or Relaxin Jackson, you get issued a DD Form 214 during your active duty service at that trade aux. It gets entered into service, and then when you exit, they finish the DD Form 214, issue it, and then have you go back to your home duty station.
Right. But a separation prior to going to that's the reason why I'm leaning toward the ELS, is because prior to that, then his DD-214 would never show. This would have been his letter of separation, which is the NGB, meaning that most likely he got an ELS, which means he didn't even show up. He was probably due to ship out and probably head somewhere and didn't show up, so they just went ahead and discharged him and give him an early leave.
Right. But the point I'm making is that when you have a National Guard member that served for a long time, based on what I've talked to with other people that had a lot of experience with that, you'll have a soldier that has multiple DD Form 214s because they went on active duty several times at different locations and then left and then went back to their unit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then ultimately they exited from the National Guard and then got an NGB Form 22, which is what you
which is what we're referring to, right? And that DD-214 would have come out had he had any active. I mean, I know guys who have been in the service and they never seen any kind of combat or anything. They was never active, and they was more reservist. And obviously they're not going to receive anything. But with this in particular, I would say this is an ELS.
It says soldier not available for signature, and says soldier was discharged without personal notice per 600, 200 para. I don't know what 8-21B or something like that, but
See, it's weird with the National Guard because if you remember going to MEPS, when you go to MEPS with the National Guard, you'll actually swear in because you do a little bit different than the rest of the active duty service. Because not only is your oath sworn to the U.S. government, it's actually sworn to the state as well. That's the reason why it's a little bit different with the guardsmen. Is you do a little bit different of a swearing in, and you would actually swear in again when you actually go to boot camp. And so I'd say what happened is he went to MEPS, filled out all of his paperwork, and just never showed back up.
Right. Now, he keeps showing and singling out the part where he says the veteran's last name is Shell in his email. Would that be just a form?
I'd say that's just something that they've got hard printed in there where it just automatically puts it up as they're typing to someone.
That's what I thought. See, because he never claimed veteran status until he got that letter in his email. Then he comes out, oh, I've been hiding this. I told you all. I didn't say I wasn't a veteran.
Ernie, is this the NGB 22?
Yeah, this is the NGB 22 right here.
Okay. Because I was going to say, it's not uncommon to have a form like that in the Army, say a soldier not available for signature. Sometimes they leave their duty station before they go to the administrative office. Some soldiers leave early and they don't actually get the information that they need because they don't, especially younger soldiers, they don't know that they need to report to the administrative office to get their form.
Right.
And they just.
Yeah, in the remarks, though, it says soldier was discharged without personal notice.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards the ELS. I wish we could look up his characteristics because I would say most likely he went to MEPS, signed up, done all of his paperwork, and just never showed back up for his basic training. So they just went ahead and was like, well, if he's not going to show up, we're just going to go ahead and get him off our record. So they done an ELS discharge, which basically does not define him as any type of soldier or anything.
Now, Ernie, I see that you have some things that are redacted, or not Ernie, but Jimbo, I see you see things that are redacted. Is there anything that has dates? Or did you see anything that has dates on it?
Let me look.
But to be honest, if you think about it, the history, everything we know about Ernie, it makes sense that he wouldn't show up. Like they couldn't get in touch with him.
Okay.
It really does.
So, Box 8 Bravo. Effective date 27 March 01.
Okay, I see it.
Now, okay.
Down here it says record of service 1 year, 6 months, 25 days.
Yeah, 18 months basically.
Yeah.
19, almost 19 if you want to get technical. But.
It never went to boot camp.
Yeah, everything's pretty blank. Military education, NA, primary specialty number, NA.
So the effective date lines up with his claim of 1999. I mean, but
Yeah, well, up here it says year, month, and date 99, 09, 03.
Yeah.
And then I guess this is effective. The effective date is when it was released.
Then I'm going to say most likely that now that's leaning more towards because see normally with the ELS it's within the first 180 days. Considering they're showing that his time of service was 1 year, then he went over the 180 days, which means he probably just didn't show back up. So he probably got either an OTH, which is other than honorable, or even possibly dishonorable. But we won't know without that, like I said, box number 24 that shows the characteristics.
Would we find that doing a FOIA, as you mentioned earlier?
It's possible.
Okay.
Because that information should be available.
I think civilians can't get anything until they've been 62 years after service, right?
Yeah, if you do a FOIA request for an active duty service member or someone who is still 62 years within their separation date, then whoever you do the FOIA request for will return it back. So, like, for example, if you try to FOIA NPRC, they will return it back and they will say, sorry, this we just can't do it because it's restricted. But if it's been past 62 years since the date of separation, then it's considered public domain at that point. And they can release it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I was going to make a
what I
joke,
said.
but it's not in good taste. But I was going to say, Jimbo, can you do this for 62 more years?
No. I think maybe 15, 20 more years I got left. Maybe. I'm hoping. I don't know.
Well,
Hey, now,
that dude
life
actually said something.
extension.
That dude in chat actually did say, his wife also stated dishonorable, which does fall under that, category, that this would be why they wasn't able to contact him, because he just kind of vanished and went AWOL. That would fall, this would be also the form that he would receive.
Well, and bouncing off what you just said, I also suspected, have you ever heard of the term snowbirding?
Mm-hmm.
So, for those of you in chat who are just listening to that for the first time, sometimes soldiers get put on active duty, or they go to their station or whatever, and before the training starts, they get injured while they're on orders, and then they get snowbirded while they're at the TRADOC. And basically what it means is they get put on administrative duty pending their issue being resolved. Sometimes that takes a few months, sometimes it takes a few weeks, and sometimes it could take a year. I've heard of instances where someone is snowbirded for a year before the before the command says, okay, this isn't worth our money anymore, to like keep this person.
Right. I mean, you're like you like you said, it's the military invests in you.
Yes, but the National Guard is not going to snowbird. I'm just telling you right now. Given how much active duty, I know active duty is a lot of money, and there's no way, in my opinion, that any state National Guard would snowbird someone for a year on a TRADOC. What do you think?
That's a possibility. Him being snowbirded would also put him under a general discharge category.
Could it be possible it's a mental thing?
See, that's physical readiness. That would be something that would have been evaluated at MEPS. So at this point, it presumes that he made it through MEPS.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Because he wouldn't have this in case he made it through MEPS.
I got to interject here and derail, and then I'll let y'all get back to the military talk. But snowbirding in basketball is being lazy and not running the floor. And then when the other team misses, you're snowbirding on the other end, and we throw it down there for an easy layup.
Well, that's also called cherry picking, isn't it?
No, I don't know about cherry picking. Maybe. But we call it snowbirding.
That's what I used to do because I was short and small, and I would just sort of hang out toward
ain't short, 5'4". Come on, man.
Toward the middle, and then I would run. And I'd be like, "Go ahead, pass me the ball. Nobody's here." They'd be like, "Cherry picker."
I'm just the worst basketball player you ever seen in your life. I really can't play basketball.
See, Jimbo's trying to promote me. He's took me on as the next G League superstar.
Yeah, I'm her agent here.
Yeah.
You'll hear something funny, James. You know Mike Walbright, right?
Yes, I know Mike.
All right, we was down there, and we had one of our events at the old hall school.
Okay. Before
we set up everything, I was kind of bragging about basketball skills, and Walbright said, "You want to have a shooting contest?" I said, well, "Sure. Where do you want to shoot from?" He said, "Free throw line." So I get up there, and I'm pretty damn confident, bro. I knocked down 9 out of 10. I'm like, "Okay, Walbright, there you go." Fucker hit 10 out of 10. Walbright. If you've seen Walbright, come on now. Listen, he don't look like a basketball player. But he beat me. I told him I got this job at the school when I first got it. He said, "Hey, you want me to come down there and do a free throw seminar?" He ain't never going to let me forget it.
I'm one of those people. I don't know if y'all ever seen this movie. There's a movie out there called Something About Mary, and it's got Ben Stiller and
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
okay, the big blonde guy that keeps like yelling and shooting the ball and keeps missing every goal. That's me playing basketball.
Yeah.
So I'm like the worst basketball player you ever can imagine.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord. I
I refuse to even play with my kids because they would beat me so badly at basketball. I won't even attempt.
Last time I played an actual, competitive game, Sarah beat me and I was done. I said, that's it. I'm not playing no more.
Yeah, I can't play basketball. I won't even like buy a little bitty like the what's the company Fisher Price little basketball setup.
Oh,
My
little
son
plastic
wants it, and
goals.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not even going to buy that because my 4-year-old is going to embarrass me playing basketball. I'll buy him a hockey stick or something like that, or we can go put on some gis and wrestle around in the living room. Like I actually found out my original gi that I got from United Martial Arts actually fits my 4-year-old now. So when I started
No
martial
kidding.
arts, it's actually fitting my 4-year-old.
Wow.
I've had that uniform that long. I didn't realize that I had started and I was that size, but it actually fits him.
That is crazy. He's gonna grow up, be bigger than you, man.
He is. He is definitely.
All right, you carry on about the possibilities of the NG. What is the NGB?
NGB 22. Like I said, I think most likely with that snowbirding makes a lot of sense with what XF said, and that may be the only reason why that I'm leaning towards those discharges. By no means do I think that he got an honorable discharge.
Yeah, because James, the reason why I know about it is because I mean, when I was at Tradoc, I can't tell you how many people were constantly being snowbirded and put under my command, and I had to, come up with responsibilities for them. Some of them on crutches, walking around, trying to hobble around. You got to think of shit for them to do to keep them gamefully occupied. Um, and I don't know, it's a weird scenario because the receiving unit, it doesn't matter what duty station it is or what branch it is, it's on their dime, they're paying for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could see the unit there is 149. That makes a lot of sense for his area because the 149 stretches all the way from Somerset plumb over into Corbin and all those areas. So as far as the battalion that he's with, the 149, makes perfect sense. So do I think this is a legit paper? Yes. But I think overall, this is, if he wouldn't have redacted box number 24, where you could have seen what the characteristics of his discharge was, I think that's either going to be OTH or an ELS. ELS, basically, guys, that just means that he just didn't want to serve after he went and done everything. He just didn't want to serve. So the military was like, all right, you don't want to serve, we'll just get rid of you.
But he could clear this up if he logged into his e-benefits live, scrolled down to box 24 and said, here you go.
Live from the stand.
Yep, that's all he would need to do, and it would clarify everything. You would see what his separation was, and if he's at ELS, there's nothing bad about it, Ernie, and that's just me being honest. If you got an ELS, there's nothing bad about it. Don't consider yourself a veteran from that point going forward. Just simply say, hey, I tried to serve the military, it just wasn't for me. I don't get any medical benefits. I don't get any kind of veteran benefits. People's not going to be mad at you over it because you're not a veteran. Just don't claim from here going forward. Simple. I mean, it's that simple. If it's an ELS, there's nothing there. It still means he's not a veteran. Exactly. If it's an ELS, he's still not a veteran. I'm just saying from this point, don't claim you're a veteran. Now, if it's, something along the lines of an OTH, that means it's other than honorable, meaning that he did not show up even after giving orders. That's a whole nother issue. Or if it's even a medical discharge, no one's going to be, mad at you because that means that you had intentions to serve, but they found that you was medically unfit.
You think it's photoshopped, Air Force? I don't know. I don't think it's photoshopped. I think it's got a bunch of important stuff redacted.
Well, and Jimbo, I tried pointing this out. Last time I was on your panel, I think. If you remember back in August of 2023, everybody was asking him to produce a duty form 214 to show his record of service. You know, dozens and dozens of people. And so someone who wanted to Photoshop what we were asking for wouldn't have produced an NGB Form 22.
Right.
They would have produced a fake NGB Form 214 to satisfy what dozens and dozens of people on the internet were asking for. And
Right.
Ernie said he didn't even know what this form was. He was like, I don't even know what the fuck this is, but I don't have an Form 214.
But if he got this and did Photoshop it instead of redacting stuff, could he get court-martialed for that?
Well, considering it's signed by the MSG down there, that's another reason why I don't think that it would be. I don't think it's necessarily photoshopped. I think his intentions was he went to the military, decided that it wasn't for him, decided to tuck tail and run whenever he figured out what he was going to go through. And this was their way of saying, hey, you're not going to show up, you're not going to do what we ask you to do. We're just going to go ahead and get rid of you now. Here you go. And they handed him this paper, which is, he's saying, if he's claiming that this paper makes him a veteran, then he's wrong.
No, I don't think he acknowledged, at least I don't, well, maybe.
Oh, he said he has veteran on his license now.
See, even I've acknowledged that I don't think he's a veteran, because this is obviously not a record of a veteran. But I'm inclined to, and see, this has got me in hot water, James, because I'm inclined to believe that this document is accurate, and it puts him, honestly, this document puts him in a bad light.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. But I mean, if he was to come out though, and like I said, with box 24, if he was to redact that, take away the redactment from it, he can redact everything else. I don't give a shit about that. But if he was to come out and on box 24 show exactly what it shows there, it would turn around and shed a lot more light. Like I said, if it shows an ELS, that's fine. I don't think he's a bad person because it's an ELS, because that means that he, went to the military, had intentions of signing up, decided it wasn't for him. He tucked tail and run. Be judgmental all you want. Military is just not for everyone.
Jimbo, can you go to box 4 at the top there?
Yeah, I'm gonna scroll up, but y'all look and tell me why that stamp is over top of the black bar.
It's an electronic. It's an electronic stamp that's over top.
Mm-hmm.
It sometimes happens like that whenever they're signing it electronically.
Box 4?
Yeah, I think it's box 4. No, wait. Shit. No, not that one. Yeah, I can't believe that. No, not that one. So, okay. Here's my theory, and this is giving him the benefit of all the doubts. If you could scroll up a little bit.
Scroll up.
All right, so on box 6, where it says date of rank, like you said, the year is 1999. Looks like it's September the 3rd, 1999. And then fast forward 1 year, 6 months, 25 days later, date of separation. Looks like it's hard to see that box 11. What does that say? Yeah. So that would have been March 01. And then fast forward, 18, 19 years later, he decides to swear in to the Tennessee State Guard as a volunteer and does whatever the fuck he does there, and doesn't, I guess that doesn't work out. And then that's where we're at right now.
Donna mentioned something there in your chat, Jimbo. At first, this is kind of what he was saying. He never said he served, that he enlisted, but then got into a car wreck in South Carolina and spent all the time in the hospital and never came to the military. That's another reason why he could have reported that he was in a car accident. That's the reason why he wasn't showing up. And the military just said, you know what, piss on this. We're not going to waste our time anymore, which would be another reason to ELS him. Kind of like what she was saying, they're not going to sit there and waste their time. They've got other people always volunteering to serve. they're not going to waste their time waiting on someone over and over and over. So I'd say he got an ELS, which doesn't consider him part of the military at all. Which means if he says he has veteran on his license, that would be another lie. Because
he don't. I've got his license. He don't.
Yeah. So I'd say most likely it's an ELS, and this is just NGB, which is just a formal form saying, hey, you're no longer part of the military. Here you go.
Let me show you here. All right, this is a regular this is a veterans, like a John Doe veterans license. See where it says veteran there?
Oh, I know the one you're referring to. It has veteran at the top of your name.
Yeah, see, it's right there.
Yeah.
On the screen.
You can request that. That's an optional thing that you can request.
All right, here's Ernie's. He says it says veteran on it, but if it said veteran, it would say it right there in its same place, right?
We can't see it.
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah,
I just see the John Doe one.
It switches
Really?
over here in a second.
Karen, you got slow internet down there in the mountains. I know where you at.
Would they send that redacted? No, Misty, they would not send it redacted. That's something that was done later on.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he signed up, and then he faked the wreck, because if you listen to him, he's told two different stories about the wreck. Remember, Karen, he told you he was in a Jeep wreck, right?
I can't remember what vehicle he said.
Well, then
I remember asking him about what kind of vehicles he used in his training, and he said a Jeep. And I thought to myself, a Jeep?
Not necessarily, Mr. Nobody. I know that you're saying that stamp would be under that. Not necessarily, because that stuff can glisten. If it was scanned in, like if he just used a scanner, sometimes that light will actually pick up where that stamp originally was at, even after being redacted.
Oh.
So that's a possibility that I'm giving him the benefit that this is a real NGB, but it's just the entry level separation saying, hey, you tried for the military, it didn't work out, here's your paper, you're no longer part of us, we don't want you because you just didn't show up for what you were supposed to.
Yeah.
Which doesn't consider him a veteran, guys. By no means does this consider he's a veteran or anything like that.
And it doesn't mean that you can't continue hating him. Like,
Yeah.
people hate it, James. People hate it when we like even entertain the idea that this is a real document.
Right, but I'm
They
giving
hate
him the
it.
benefit of the doubt on it.
Yeah, because they know Ernie.
Right.
I know, but it isn't about Ernie. It reminds me. Okay, Ernie's situation reminds me of Band of Brothers. You know that TV show Band of Brothers?
Oh, I'm very familiar.
You know when he I can't remember the name. It's Captain Sable tries to walk past the major, and he doesn't want to salute him because he used to be just a butter bar, and I think it's Captain Sobel or Captain Sable. The major turns and says, "Hey, it isn't about the person; it's about the rank." And I operate on that. You know, it's not, when it comes to this, it's not about the person.
Well, I mean, I sort of agree. I'm not military, but I mean, I can see where you're coming from. But
now, it's possible that Ernie could have drove a Jeep. I'm reading some of these comments. It's possible Ernie could have drove a Jeep, and I'll explain how that probably could have happened.
well, now I was going to say the old Harlan Armory, you know, where we used to have the fights at.
Yeah.
There were some Jeeps back there. There were.
Yeah. And I'll explain how that probably happened. He probably went in, and they have military readiness program for the National Guard. It basically, you go in and do a weekend drill until your shipping date, and then you will ship out and go to whatever boot camp you're going to. What probably happened is they're not going to make you pay to drive to Artemis, which is where your drill weekend normally is, to get ready for the military. So they probably give him one of the Jeeps and said, here, Ernie, you can drive this to go to drill. And that's probably what he means by driving. By no means does that mean that he, you know, that even when you go to drill on the weekend and you're with your unit drilling, doesn't mean that you've already went to boot and everything else. That just means that they was trying to get him to go down there and get military ready, like get into shape before he shipped out. So it's possible he could have drove a Jeep, but in the military, I don't think so.
And James, were you active duty or were you National Guard?
Just National Guard.
Oh, okay.
Donna said when he first got that paperwork, he said they gave him credit for 18 months. Then beside his name somewhere, it said veteran's name, Ernest Shell. Therefore, that made him a veteran in the military. So, and that's what I was thinking. Like, I think that's just the form. Like, it's like you said, it's a hard copy, veteran's name on their military form they mailed out to him or whatever.
Yeah.
Someone asked about stolen valor and whether or not you can be fined or put in jail for a year or whatever. So stolen valor, this would be, so if this was a fake document that he forged in order to give the appearance of being in the military, that wouldn't count as stolen valor. That would be a forgery of an instrument under state law. And that would be so that literally it's called forgery of an instrument. Stolen valor is where you use your status or you pretend to use your status there as a veteran.
Hey, John, you want to come up on panel?
To gain monetary.
Yeah. John, that makes a lot of sense, even back to what I was saying. He never made it to basic training, which is an ELS. He just never showed back up, or he went AWOL. That's exactly what it is. That's the reason why they didn't have the ability to give him that form in person, so they went ahead and just let him go from there. The only other way that could probably happen is an OTH, which is a bad paper discharge.
John Loveday is actually the reason why we bought the trial DVDs, because he told John Loveday in messages that 27 agents with tasers couldn't take Shelby down, and he had to go knock him out so they could arrest him.
Yeah.
So I went and got the trial DVDs because I was like, if they had to do that, it would be in the trial. It wasn't. There's a whole lot of other shit in there, but it wasn't. But yeah, John Loveday is the reason we went and got the trial in the first place.
I guess they've never been shot with a taser.
Yeah. I think John got to know him through the mask community, the hockey mask and stuff.
Yeah. That is how the whole horror.
But John's legit military too.
Yeah.
I think Army, wasn't you, John?
Actually, if you remember those messages between Ernie's sister Melissa and that other person, yeah.
Oh yeah. So who blacked out the parts? That's what we're asking. I think Ernie did.
I don't think he showed up, y'all.
That's his way, and it goes back. And Kipper, you're right. I mean, that would be the same thing, as the ELS. If he just didn't show up, it would be, an entry level separation. Which that's the reason he probably redacted that, because I could run around with a piece of paper all day and say that I'm a veteran, but an ELS considers me not a veteran at all. And that's probably the reason why that's blocked out, because he knew people would look into it. So he would not be considered a veteran if he's ELS. He's not a veteran at all if he's ELS. There's no military benefits or anything.
What does that say at the bottom? What is that type of certificate used? He's even got that blocked out.
Yeah, the one to the left's the one that that character
service.
Mm-hmm.
And right up here above it, authority and reason.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that says? Authority and reason?
Yeah, that's the reason why that there was issuing him the NGB. That would tell why. It would have a reasoning why. But it says soldier was discharged without personal notice per NGR 600 paragraph. NGB form 22 was mailed to soldier's last known address, which means they just haven't been able to contact him or didn't know where they was just sending it to. So they sent whatever he put on his form whenever he went in.
Yeah. So Ernie, log into your e-benefits like you have before to get this. Scroll down to box 24 and below and tell us what it says. Then you might be considered a veteran. Till then, you're stolen valor in my books.
Well, I still wouldn't consider him a veteran. I mean, based on his time in service, but I mean,
if it's
he could potentially prove that this document is 100% real by logging into e-benefits and requesting this specific record, which you can do. You know, you request it, and then they send you an email confirmation saying, "Hey, you requested something. Please wait a couple minutes while we prepare your document," and then they email it to you.
So he wouldn't be able to log in and scroll down on live.
No, you have to check a box. Like there's like a list of 50 things that you can ask for.
Can you ask for things to be redacted?
So if this was redacted by I have to make sure that I say this correctly. If this was redacted by the military for whatever reason, then what they send them would be this version, which would be redacted, if that was accurate. But if Ernie redacted those bars at the bottom, then they would send him the unredacted version. It just depends on how it was filed. Does that make sense, Jimbo?
I think so.
If it was filed redacted, then that's what's going to be in the system.
Okay. Yeah. Why would it be filed redacted?
I don't know. I suspect that Ernie probably redacted the bottom part himself, because it makes no sense to me that the black bars would be added by the military.
Right.
They have no reason to do that.
He can't log in because he doesn't know the phone number that he used back then.
But okay, wait. I'm going to call. I mean, sorry, I hate to cut you out on that, Kemper, but I'm going to back you all up a little bit on this one. All you got to do is contact Deere's customer service and verify your name, your date of birth, and your social security number. And you can change your email address. You can change your phone number. You can change all of your contact information with them, and you can reset your login within like 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, he did do that. He was saying he was made a bunch of T-shirts and sold them, and said he was giving a percentage to the wounded warriors.
Then that would be stolen valor. If he's not considered a veteran, that would be. That's monetary claims, and that's what they're referring to. But at ELS, like I said, I'm going to give him the benefit that this is an ELS. I'm not going to say that it's a bad thing or a good thing. ELS, like I said, that's what I'm leaning toward, and that's given Ernie a little bit of a benefit, but it wouldn't consider him a veteran, which means he is stealing valor overall because he's using it for monetary. But without that characteristic code down there, the characters, I wouldn't be able to actually tell you exactly what that document is.
Eric has a good point. The black bars are over that part, but he didn't cover his social security number.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say earlier, but I just ignored it.
Yeah, he's definitely a liar.
It's also possible, James, that it's a medical. I mean, like he said he got in a wreck, so he could have been snowbirded and then medically discharged. Mm-hmm. And then maybe he's embarrassed about that, so he redacted the bottom part because he didn't want it to say medical discharge.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, though. He said he had a steering wheel embedded in his chest, and we've seen no proof of that, even on his body with the scarring or anything.
That's what I was going to say. In that video where he says the steering wheel was in his chest, he says he was working on an 88 motorcycle and wrecked it. And then in another story, he wrecks a Jeep. So it's two different wrecks he claims kept him out of the military.
I mean, if it's medical, then he's going to qualify as a veteran. If it's medical, I'm just saying if medical. But all this proves right here is that he never arrived for boot, because he would have had a DD 214 if he would have actually went to boot camp and got listed over into active duty. To me, this just signifies that he never arrived for boot camp. Mm-hmm. And
wait, how would you come to that conclusion?
Because NGB Form 22 is provided to military members. Whenever you actually hit active duty, you would be provided the 214.
Yeah, but the NGV Form 22 has to be issued at the end of National Guard service. I've looked up like what NGV Form 20. The NGV Form 22 is the final thing that a soldier gets
Then
for.
I'm going based on the fact that everybody else said that he was serving in military warfare. I'm reading the comments go by where he had made claims of service.
Yeah,
So
he said
technically, if he went to basic, he would have a DD Form.
Right.
He would have a DD Form 214, and then he would. That's like within that 18-month period.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Ernie said. He never went to boot camp.
Yeah, he never made it to basic. So this is the only
Said
form
it with
that
his
he
own
had.
mouth. So.
Which this would have been something completely with National Guard relation. You see what I'm saying? There would have never been a 214 because he never hit any kind of when you enter boot camp, the way I understood it when I was when you hit boot camp, you are considered active.
But James, you were in the National Guard. How many soldiers join the National Guard and are laid up for 18 months before going to basic?
Right, and I'm agreeing with you, and that's what I'm saying. There would have never been a service come out there. In other words, he would have never hit boot camp, which is the reason why this would have been the only form he received. And I'm thinking it's an early leave of separation, which is why I'm referring back to the ELS. You see what I'm saying?
Let me ask you something. John Loveday said, guarantee he's never heard of DEERS or what it is. I'm sure he will look it up tomorrow and know all about it. What is DEERS?
Well, usually you hunt them, and sometimes they have antlers. And
yeah,
Damn good jerky. Damn good jerky.
DEERS is good jerky.
Yeah.
Basically, DEERS is a record keeping system.
Oh, okay.
It's a part of it. It's also it's built into this. They got all these different terminologies: HRC, iPerms, DEERS, but they all kind of revolve around one another and keeping information and data.
I got to pick fun at Josh down there. Hey, Josh, what was your favorite flavor of crayon?
Hey, John, he said he was in the war, bro, the Gulf War. Yeah, he was also at Desert Storm. Ain't that when he went to boot camp? Was during Desert Storm? Ain't that what he said? Mr. Nobody said, is that even the right stamp for this paperwork? Let me pull it up. See.
Does it say official?
It says Archives and Records Administration, maybe?
Yeah, but crimes as consequences it says State Guard doesn't get it Form 214. Yeah, but this is a document from 20 years before that, or 18 years before that crime.
Yeah, this is before.
The State Guard thing was in 2020.
Yeah, but that's where he blurs it. He shows him swearing in. It's a State Guard.
See, a lot of people keep getting confused here because there's two different timelines that we're discussing. We're discussing the 1999-2000 timeline, and then we're discussing the 2019-2020 timeline with the State Guard. So
I had a buddy of mine that used to tell me his favorite was the purple, said it tastes just like grapes. So, yeah.
By the way, Air Force USA, I might take you up on that property for $5. You said it was oceanfront in Oklahoma?
That's some property on the moon, I'll sell you.
How much?
Elon's interested.
Is it oceanfront?
I don't know.
Depends on what you
now
call
that
it.
might affect Kemper. I think that might affect my G League schedule. If I get oceanfront property on the moon.
Oh yeah.
You can buy some property on the sun right now. It's for sale.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you can actually go online and purchase it.
What if there's aliens that like maintain that, and then we get to the sun and they're like, "Yeah, fuck you and your title."
Oh shit!
And they vaporize you.
I'll send you some oceanfront property here in Kentucky.
I was looking forward to the experiments.
Wait a minute. Air Force is already giving me half off. I didn't even try to barter with you. What are you doing? You're terrible at this. You're giving me now it's $2.50 instead of $5.
I might have this little video to play. Let me check.
Well, that means there's probably something wrong with the property.
Archivist, is this the one you just sent me? Hang on.
Nancy says military discount. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's one thing Ernie is known for, Daisy Joe, is getting that military discount.
It's a 4th of July sale.
Yeah.
You got to remember, I went through the whole deal with Ernie saying that he found a missing child close to me at one point.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Which
that Ernie
child?
hasn't engaged in misinformation and disinformation. Fuck shit. I'm definitely not saying that.
It was
What?
Prentice.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That
Prentice
didn't happen like he says.
No, not at all. I remember that 100%.
I was
I
going to
talked to
say,
Prentice afterwards.
Prentice and DA, when we first started doing this, they actually did a video with Jim. I don't know if it was a live or if you
It was a
recorded it.
video. I
Yeah.
remember that Prentice even admitted all the truths because my family. So I have another cousin who is actually married to Prentice's mother.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually got to talk to Prentice a lot when he was younger, going through all that stuff, and it was the funniest thing in the world. They went in the woods looking for him with flashlights.
Yeah, in the snow. He was showing that yesterday, I think it was. He literally was.
He better
But
not be
then
showing
again,
that. That shows my area.
I was gonna say though, he likes showing a lot of bullshit that ain't real though. Like he had a picture of the little girl he saved in Louisiana and drove up to East Tennessee to the compound. Ain't that right, Tina? Ain't that right, Ernie? Same shit. You didn't save either one of them kids. You're a liar. You know what happened. You know you could still have charges pressed too. But keep lying about it. Keep fucking around.
His email address used to be military police shell.
Yep. It showed up on that.
Amber, what would you say if I told you Tina Simmerly was a dentist?
I would believe that in East Tennessee, but sorry. She's got her own little type of chloroform that she got from some root out in the middle of nowhere and steeped it in some other fucking potion that she made, you know. She's always got some healing shit going on. But if you look, ain't everybody too healthy? Ernie, that's his doctor. And you see what he looks like right now. He's a wilted up version of what he was in 2020, 21, which wasn't really much. But he's just pruned himself, just pickled with that fucking meth, dude.
You said Tina's a doctor. Is she a voodoo doctor or?
She considers her like a natural healer.
And where I got injured at, I work.
Like that fucking sound table that she's got is supposed to have like these magic powers while they listen to the bongos being played by the electric spider demons outside their fucking home. Sasquatch singing soprano in the background too, you know.
Y'all check his
UFOs
video.
floating around.
Check his video out right quick.
And where I got injured at, I work this right here. Do you remember when the big riot happened here?
Spread out. Okay.
Yeah, I know you would like that spread out. Do you like that? I mean, do you remember that?
You know, there was a lot of shit that went down. God.
I can show you the exact place I was at right there in Atlanta when all this happened. Because this here is when I was doing executive protection, and I've got all the information on that too. I couldn't find it, hardly could find it. I found it now, so
It's pretty cool. So I've got it here. Up here, she.
Might be the wrong one.
So I'll let you go, Cool Beans.
That might have been the wrong one. Me text.
No, Mr. Nobody asked what form that was. Mr. Nobody, we were reviewing what's called NGB, so November Golf Bravo 22. NGB form 22. What was your rank, James?
I would have went in. So when I initially signed, I went in as an E1. I would have got up to E3, and then I injured myself over the weekend of drill.
Oh.
So I got a separation of services. Mine's under medical. I'll have to find my paperwork eventually, and I'll actually compare mine to what we're looking at eventually if I take notice to dig through a bunch of papers. I've got it somewhere in there in the spare bedroom. And
Well, that would be cool. But just so you know, I wasn't requiring you to do all that. I was just wondering what your rank
I'm
was.
curious. I'm curious how close and similar mine is to that document. I can pull it up. I just got to go in there and find my paper. It's somewhere put into another room.
Yeah.
I'll try to find it sometime this week.
Yeah. How long have you been separated?
2000. So I got out in 2000. I went in 2009, got out in 2010, and received my NGB in January of 2011. Yeah, I didn't have much time served, and to this day, I still don't claim myself to be a veteran. I was in the Guard, and you'll hear me clearly say I was in the Guard, but I still don't consider myself a veteran. I have multiple military friends that did serve, and they deserve that honor a lot more than I did because that's just the way I am. I could fight for it and go through all the red tape.
Yeah,
but there's no point in doing that.
Thelma has a cousin that I grew up with that just retired from the Navy after 30 years. I've got a friend that joined the Marines when right before Thelma and I got married, which was over 31 years ago, and he's still in the Marines. Unless he's retired within the last year or so. That the last time I saw him, I think was about a year ago, and he was still in. I tried to message him, but I hadn't heard back from him yet.
I would have went to the Marines. I actually was in high school and had a job interview at Arby's, and I won't forget this. I went to Arby's for my interview, and the manager at Arby's that was doing my interview said, "There's some gentleman out here wanting to talk to you." And I walk out, and it's a Marine standing there, and he's like, "Hey, James, let's talk about your future." I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm there for a job interview."
Well, in London?
Yeah.
That might have been my friend. He was a recruiter in London for a while.
Yeah, he was a little bit
probably pushy. 15 or 20 years ago, maybe. He was here for 4 or 5 years, I think. But he was short. He was short. He's short. He's probably 5'10", 5'9", 5'10".
You need to send me that video of Tim Black versus Ernie.
Oh, hang on a second. I got the whole shebang right here, I think, somewhere. Actually, let me pull it up. It's on Kemper's channel.
So, James, how did you discover this community?
I have been involved in MMA since I was about 15 year old. I've been involved in the MMA world, which this is, and I give Jimbo credit for this. Jimbo was the #1 rated show throughout Kentucky. If you was in any part of MMA, and Jimbo can vouch for this, I'm probably on a first name basis with every promoter at that time because I worked cage crew for just about all of them. Wrestling rings, cage crew, I done all that stuff. We would go set up the cage, go set up the ring, and we traveled all over the state of Kentucky doing that stuff. And then I decided to have my first MMA fight, which I actually fought for Jimbo's show. Long and behold, Jimbo wasn't there that night because he would rather be in Bowling Green, Kentucky with, I think it was either Tito or...
Oh, that's the night we had two shows.
Yes, and I fought in Somerset, and Jimbo was in Bowling Green. So Jerry Burns and somebody else is the one that booked that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how big we got, man. We was able to have 2 shows on the same night in different cities.
Oh, yeah. And you're looking, this wasn't no rinky-dink show. When you run Somerset Center, they would be 2,000 people screaming in the audience. And, you're at this time, I'm 17-year-old because in the state of Kentucky, as long as you signed off a form, you could fight at 17. And that was kind of the deal I made with my mother, is that I wouldn't enter the military at 17 if she allowed me to fight. So she went and signed the papers, and I had my first fight. And I actually got it. Rich Franklin was the one that was in Somerset that night.
And your first opponent was Jimbo.
My first opponent was a kid named Austin Cromer. And I beat him which it's reported on SureDog, I think it is. It's reported that I beat him in the first. I actually beat him in the second round by TKO.
Oh, wow.
They messed up a lot of those.
Yeah.
See, now I'm not going to be doing all that. I don't want to fuck up my nails. So.
And then I was going to fight for him in London, and my opponent backed out and decided to fight Little Dowdy, which was even a worse mistake.
He's a private investigator now.
Yes. Yeah, and he's decided to fight Dowdy that night, and Dowdy just wiped the floor with him in like 30 seconds.
Dowdy was a bad little dude, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Rich is an amazing guy.
Oh, yeah. Hell of a guy. Here you go.
Right. We're live now. All right. Prentice Pack in the hat. DA in the beard. DA Inman, Prentice Pack. Prentice, you're almost 19 now, right? Okay. Now, one of Ernie Shell's, actually his only claim to actually saving a child from certain doom is Prentice Pack. So, tell us, first of all, did he save your life that day? Okay. And was there 2 feet of snow on the ground? Okay. Tell me what was actually going on that day and what happened where you came about meeting up with Ernie that day.
Well, I was at the girl's house, had my phone off, whatever. Next day, you turn my phone on, start walking home. About halfway home, we picked it up. About it, really.
So Ernie met up with you the day after you hooked up with your girlfriend or whatever, and you were headed home. Yeah, it saved you. And you were actually walking home and almost home at that point, right?
Yep.
And then he rolled up with your stepdad in a car and picked you up. Yep. Okay. Now, as far as the minutes on your phone and all that, how did that come about? Was there actually minutes put on your phone, or did you just have it powered off?
I had it off.
You just had it turned off. So even that part was fabricated from Ernie. Okay. So see, I've been giving him credit for at least that. Like, yeah, Ernie said put minutes on the phone, but even that was a lie. I should have known better. All right. DA. This past summer.
Talked to Ernie on the phone. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm in Gatlinburg, man." He said, "Are your wife and kids with you?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, let me use your $14 debate to get some of these sex offenders off the street." I said, "There's no way you're using my daughter for that." And he called me about 4 or 5 times. I was like, "He's calling his bait."
He wanted to use your 14-year-old daughter.
Sit out on the street and wait for some man to come and meet her. And I guess he was going to intervene, I guess.
Now, did he have police officers there ready to help?
I just talked to him on the phone. I never had up.
Right. So, I mean, but
Probably just him.
yeah. And did he offer you any insurance? That if something happens, we've got this, we've got that.
No, he didn't say nothing like that. He just let me use your daughter for 2 hours.
Let me use your daughter for a couple of hours. The great protector of children. Yeah. All right. Well, boys, I appreciate you taking out your time and coming over here. And Merry Christmas. We're going to try to get some truths out there. Ernie's been going around and pretty much saying anybody who's not supporting him is a pedophile. So
Still does.
He's making people out to be something they're not just because they ain't sending him money. All right, guys, I appreciate it.
That was DA and Prentice. And Prentice said he was on a booty call. DA didn't really save him. He was walking home when DA and his dad or stepdad rolled up on him. So he was not out in the weather lost. He was at his girlfriend's house.
What are you talking about, Jimbo? Ernie saved him now. Come on.
That's what he says. That's what he says.
Josh
Yeah.
Report says there's a reason they pick us to fight first. Thank you, Josh, for acknowledging that they picked the Army to fight first, while the Marines
here we
sat in the
go.
back, and the Air Force, Chair Force, flies around in the sky.
Want those low flying Air Force? You know those Marines, they don't even look mean.
Oh Lord, Josh is gonna come up here and whoop both y'all.
No, I just wanted to acknowledge Josh for, admitting that the Army comes first. So appreciate it.
Josh is a man of his own word. You know, he'll man up, right, Josh?
You talking about those backpacking Army?
What'd you call
we
him?
we could do this all day long. The backpacking Army.
The backpacking Army?
Yeah. They got to carry a rucksack better where they go.
Oh, here you go. Here's what I was looking for. Here's the whole thing, minute and 13 seconds worth. Ernie in the black shorts, Tim Black in the black and yellow. This video is entitled Ernie Getting That Ass Waxed, and this is on Kemper's channel. Somebody drop the link, mods. Man, you better hope Tim Black ain't a predator.
Ayo, ayo.
The big Chuck there wrestling. Here comes Ian. Watch, Ernie don't even get hit when he falls. He just gives up. That knee missed. Damn.
Ayo, ayo. Part of that clip is from your intro. So, ayo, ayo.
Oh, yeah. It's a catchy song, ain't it?
It really is. Sometimes I try to, I don't know, sometimes it'll get on my mind.
That seems vaguely familiar, Donna. Oh, James, have you seen this one guy? This I can't even remember his name. Rick Crude.
Oh Lord.
He claims he whipped me at a wrestling show in North Carolina. He said I said something wrong to him and he whipped my ass.
Wrestling fans are insane. So I used to work for security, and they brought down. If any of you guys watch any type of wrestling today, there's a guy on there named Adam Pearce. He's like the general manager of Monday Night Raw and all this stuff now. But back in the day, when he was a wrestler, he decided to come down and do a show in Corbin called Pro Wrestling Freedom. And we was running the show one night working security, and it was me and DA was there because we was on ring crew, and John had asked us to work security. And wrestling fans are a whole nother breed. Say anything else you want about any other sport. Wrestling fans are a whole nother breed. Like There was like an 86-year-old grandma pulled a knife out and was ready to stab Adam Pierce, and
Oh
one
my
guy went to the
lord.
car to get his pistol to shoot him. Like, it was insane. They
Hey,
actually had to pull the vehicle inside the Civic Center. They actually had to open the garage, pull the vehicle in, put Adam Pierce in the vehicle, and drive him out of fear that people was going to kill him. It was
James,
insane.
do you know anybody like when Ernie did his wrestling show in 2011 where he got arrested, all that Diamond Dallas Page stuff?
Yeah, the
Do you know?
DDP.
Because those guys were from London, like the Bookers and stuff. Do you know those guys?
Bluefield Hell. There is one of them. I'll have to find him on Facebook. It's been a while since I talked to him. You're talking about the Bluefield Hell West Virginia show. The
Yeah, I would
DDP.
absolutely love to interview one of those guys.
James,
man.
DDP is my favorite wrestler.
Then go watch, if you guys have not, after the
Oh,
stand
we've
goes
seen it.
off, go watch the DDP.
Oh God, we've seen it.
We've seen it.
We've seen it once.
That is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my
It
life.
is terrific. It is terrific.
I feel bad for DDP and
buddies now.
yeah,
It's
I think
neat.
it's funny. I think it's funny at the very end of it. He's finding out that some of the other wrestlers didn't get paid for their booking, and he's like, "You idiots! You should have got paid up front." And it's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
But no, there's a couple of wrestling promotions. I know I'm in the talks with somebody right now to try to bring another event down to Corbin. That used to run the Pro Wrestling Freedom. They used to be part of that group. And they're
Yeah.
talking
I'm
about
gonna get
bringing
my
it back.
promoter's license. I've got the bond filled out here and I just gotta send in the check.
A couple of the guys that was wrestling down there are now wrestling for OVW.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they're making
Josh
a pretty good
reports, why do you eat crowns?
because the blue ones are the best.
Yeah, shit. I heard them blue ones was good now. Quit that. Or is it purple?
Purple's supposedly the best, but
Well, as long as he's not sniffing markers.
True.
that's what the Army does while they're doing all that paperwork.
Does it taste like purple?
All right, let me show y'all this right quick. This is a online printable PDF form of the NGB 22. See that? What is an NGB 22? Printable template. NGB 22-5, 2014-2024, free printable templates. Editing NGB 225 online. Now, does that change anything?
Well, it's 14 to 2024, and it would depend on the font. Like Mr. Nobody said in a comment earlier about 20 minutes ago. Don't ask how I remember, but he was looking at the font difference. You got to look at the font that was used in 2000, the year 2000, versus this font and stuff like that.
What do you think?
Well, I was gonna say, do notice one big thing. Ernie's got at least his swearing in and a picture wearing a military police band on his arm and his ethical paperwork, right?
Well, I can go to London City Flea Market and pick all that up.
I know.
But
just like his security badge that he used to flash during his live streams.
Yeah. The only reason why I'm going to reach out to a buddy of mine who was in the service at that time, and there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out of that document that I was really paying attention to. What unit was he in, which is the 149th, which is accurate. The other thing that I'm going to look on is I'm going to ask them about Michael Crabtree, which is the signature on there, because that would have been the person that was over that particular unit.
Okay.
And I've got a guy that was serving at that time. He's a really good friend of mine. Actually, his son fought for Jimbo as well. You remember Dusty Gibbs?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, his daddy served in the National Guard around the same time Ernie was saying that he
Oh shit.
done that. So
Let's talk to him.
I'll reach out to him and see if he can't clarify who Michael Crabtree was at that time.
Right. Ask him about him because I know until he passed away, I think Otis Caps was the main guy down there. I don't know what his rank was, but he was the main guy at the armory.
Yeah, that's Master Sergeant Michael Crabtree is who signed it.
Yeah.
So I'll reach out and see if they remember who was there at that time, which he served National Guard for almost 20 years. So if anybody's going to know, he's going to know.
You know who I've got that's retiring that was in the National Guard for 20 years? He's retiring this month.
Who?
And he runs the Middlesboro Armory.
Ernie Shell.
Nope. Lloyd Branham.
Oh, yep.
You remember him?
Mm-hmm.
He only lost one fight. That was to Chad Corvin. And Corvin signed with the UFC.
You know, Chad's a whole different beast.
Yeah, he's a freaking monster.
But no, I've seen some monsters. I've seen some monsters get knocked out too, though. It's your show that everybody. What was his name? Little redheaded guy that used to fight for you. He actually became the champion, but he had his first fight down in. I want to say it was Middlesboro at the Armory, and everybody thought he was going to get beat, and he ended up knocking the guy out in the second round. Called him with a straight and knocked him out. Williams, I think's his name, Williamson or Williams or something like that. I think his first name was Justin, but he fought for you, and his girlfriend at the time was fighting for you. I don't know.
No, Justin Gooden.
Justin Gooden, that's his name.
Yeah, his wife's gonna fight when we do our return show, and Justin might fight.
Okay, because see, I was the one that cornered Justin in that fight because nobody wanted to. Because he was brand new, he had never fought before. Nobody wanted to corner him, and I remember Jimbo looked at me and go, well, James here, he'll corner you. I was cornering everybody in those days. I mean,
y'all, Erica just dropped the link to our backup channel. If you don't mind, sub up to that. It's Truth Prevails, and we got like 14 more to go to get to 1,000. Not that we really need it, but it's just a milestone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show these badges here in a second, archivist. I'll show you some of Ernie's stuff here.
What do you mean? Thanks for your patience. Josh reports 24.
What stuff?
Badges and here, let's see what it is. Yeah, here's his fugitive recovery badge and his handcuffs, certificates.
I was going to say, I remember the first time we saw that badge when he used it, we took a screenshot of it and ran it through the Google search, and it came back to like 10 different fucking online costume shops.
Pink Volo 11B is 11 Bravo. That would be infantry.
But yeah, it was basically same kind of badge you get when you get your little cowboy outfit.
Oh yeah,
with a little holster and all that.
Yeah, I pulled up an old photo, Jimbo. It was me, Dowdy, DA, Isaiah, Josh, Zach, and Jerry, and CJ.
Isaiah, you mean Mosher?
Yep, Mosher. Oh, Mosh.
Well, it was nice meeting you, James. It's late. It's 2:00 in the morning. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for coming up, X Factor. Talking military terms with us.
Oh,
I'm really
shit.
not an expert at all, but it was good having you and James together up here. That was cool.
Thank you, Ernie. Ernie was 11B.
All right. Take care. Good night.
Yeah.
Ernie was 11 Bravo.
I can't get on.
He's also good friends with John Rambo. So
whatever happened to Zach?
Who?
Zach
his brother.
He lives in London. Corbin. He's a truck driver.
I haven't seen him in so long. Hey, I'm gonna tell you that right there. He wasn't the greatest fighter, but he was tough, man.
You fight anybody.
Yeah.
He fought Nate Jolly one night. Shit.
That's a whole other ballgame.
That was bad. That was bad. That was a bad time for Nate or for Zach.
For Zach, but he didn't care to fight. I remember going down there and training with those guys, Nate and
Thank you, Lisa.
who was the you had Cornelius, Nate, Angelo, and what was the one that became a ref now?
Nate.
No, the other one. The
Oh,
other
Mooney.
one. Mooney. Yeah, we all went down there to Cumberland and trained with them.
Yeah. All the wrestlers, they were badass, man. Every one of them.
Oh, it was a blast, man. It was so much fun. I learned so much stuff from them.
I'm trying to pull up these pictures. Let me see. I think I got them now. Save as Ernie Garbage here. Let's see.
I know I tapped Jerry out one night, caught him in an armbar, and he like freaking killed me afterwards.
Did he?
Yeah, I only weighed. Well, you got to think, me and Dowdy was the same weight. I just had a little bit more height on Dowdy. I was at 135 whenever I was doing that, and Jerry was 205. Well,
yeah, when he cut weight.
When he cut weight, yeah. So he's like 230s. I've never seen a guy cut weight like Jerry, though. I got to give him credit. The guy could eat a whole entire like 3 little Caesar pizza. He would eat like 3 of them, and then he would go cut weight and show up to the fight at 205. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, but when he fought, he was back to 230.
Mm-hmm. But he would weigh in on time. I don't know how he pulled it off. Yeah, I was there for the whole debacle between him and Warren. That was horrible.
Yeah, it pissed me off. It made me mad at Warren, man.
I remember Tim Stout, the whole Isaiah situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only time I ever got mad at an MMA show was Turfway Park working for Hard Rock.
Hard Rock's coming back too.
Yeah, I know. We done a show in Turfway, which obviously you know Turfway, but for a lot of people don't understand, you had to walk up like 3 flights of stairs to get to where they put the cage. So when you had to pack this cage, you had to pack it in panel by panel. So it was me and 3 other guys, and DA was on the crew. Well, one of the guys faked an injury, said that a cage fell on his head and gave him a concussion.
That's that big old boy he lived up there.
Yeah, and then his buddy, which was Jeff, said that he couldn't stay because if they're leaving to take Rodney to the hospital, he can't stay because that's his ride home. And then DA ended up having a clot in his lung, so he was out. So I'm at like 3 in the morning. Turfway security comes up to me and goes, "Are you all right?" At 3 in the morning, I'm packing these big cage panels down these flight of stairs and putting them in the truck by myself. It was horrible.
All right, let me show you all these. Now I got them pulled up.
And that was your old cage, that big heavy friggin' one too.
Oh, it was a beast.
Yeah. Imagine a little bitty guy like me packing those cage panels down 3 flights of stairs.
Wow.
All right, let's see. Here's Ern's badges. There's all this stuff that expired.
Yeah.
And most of those you can just take a test and get them. Like it's online stuff. Some of those are homemade.
I was going to say, he's got all these credentials, but no proof of ever putting them to use.
Yeah. Well, and like some of them are homemade. We saw the templates in the jury trial.
Yep. Sure did.
Look at this shit.
You would think a guy with all those credentials, though, would have some fucking 1156 arrest proof.
Yeah.
He don't have none.
Recovery agent there. And remember when they tried to bust the one guy at the park and he's like, "Are you guys cops?"
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't say they were cops. He's like, "Fuck off." They had guns and handcuffs and everything. He's like, "Well, fuck off."
Good way to get
He
shot.
walked away. He left.
Good way to just get shot if you don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
Well, see, that was right in the middle of the city park in Newport, Tennessee. We were watching it go down. Unfortunately, I was in Michigan when it was happening, so I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But anything could have happened, man. You get somebody that's truly twisted in the head in a public place and you have firearms involved, that's not a good situation, especially when it's mainly kids. It's supposed to be protecting women and children, but you're doing that dumb shit?
At all cost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send myself a reminder to call Floyd tomorrow.
I would just give him a call and be like, hey, could you tell me who the master sergeant was at this time period? And he should be able to tell you exactly.
I guarantee he'll know. Yeah. Hey, baby, Thelma. Just wanted to say hey to everyone and love my Stan family.
What's up, Thelma?
Thelma made me gain weight one night at a show. She done some deep fried Oreos, and I spent my entire money I made that night.
Oh God! She used to sell those at the shows, and we never could keep them. Like they were just gone.
I remember at one point she sent DA out in the vehicle and told him to go buy all the Oreos.
All the Oreos that Walmart had over there. Go get them. We sold them too. We never took none of them home with us.
Yeah, I think I ended up with 3 Oreos after all was said and done.
You ever had a fried Oreo, Kemper?
Oh yeah, man. You got to see me after like a blunt, man. I'll kill some of that shit.
Deep fried
Man,
Oreos.
y'all making me want some deep fried Oreos right now.
Deep fried Oreos, deep fried Twinkies, deep fried Snickers. That stuff's good, man. Like I can eat my weight in it. That's a lot.
Yeah, melts right in your mouth.
Right.
That and a little bit of powdered sugar.
Yep.
We're good to go.
That's sort of like funnel cakes with me.
That's what it is, man. It's a funnel cake wrapped around a damn Oreo.
Yep.
Where was that
Good
show
system.
at? Where was we hosting that show the last time she done that?
Maybe
Don't
Harley.
give my recipe away.
He just had Oreo. Don't worry, Thelma. I won't let him.
I know the recipe because I sit there and watched her make them because I was one of the first customers.
Maybe not. We're going to do a show at down in Harlan at the center there where we did. That's where Brandon Bell fought. What's the guy that ended up in the UFC?
Lawler?
No, he was a small guy. Bell cut a shitload of weight to fight him. It was a 3-round war too.
I had to look it up because the reason I remember the Harlan Center down there is they got all the Justified memorabilia hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nana Kim, I feel you there. I feel you.
What is it?
Deep fried cheesecake, bro.
Ooh, damn, that sounds good.
Yeah, she just slammed it through the table.
I like Ray Jones. Funnel cake woke me up.
Right.
No, I love that center down there. Like when I went down there, we was running that show.
To do these pictures.
Have you ever watched the show Justified, Kemper?
Only like 2 of them. 2 episodes.
So they had that episode like they was running the series, and if you go down there at the Center for Harlan that Jimbo was referring to, they've got like a full display case that has like Raylan's hat and all the memorabilia from the show. It's really cool.
Oh, it's badass. It's a good setup.
Hell yeah.
We had to turn people away there too, man. We always sell out.
If we
we're
could,
gonna do one there. We're gonna do one at Ice House in Corbin.
Okay.
And the owner and her husband are both gonna fight that night. And then in the fall, we are going to do Border Wars 2 at Cotton Eye Joe in Knoxville.
Okay.
So we are building up those 3 big shows, and
I used to go there.
Payment turned in there.
I remember the biggest show that I remember Jimbo running was when you run Bowling Green down there at that arena,
Sloan Center. Oh no, the Diddle Arena, PD
Diddle Arena. Yeah. I remember that night because I had to room with a bunch of the fighters, and oh god.
Yeah, you remember who was it knocked each other out?
That was the double knockout that night. Yeah.
Hey, dude, it's the wildest thing I ever seen in my life. These
the most
2
beautiful
guys
double
swinging.
knockout I ever seen.
Wasn't it? One of them was Manigello, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Jay Manigello? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Jay. And did he fight Nate that night?
No, he didn't fight Nate because Nate fought Donnie.
Yeah, that was
Because if you remember, Nate kept slamming Donnie, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Because Nate slammed him like 40 something times in this fight. Just
yeah.
kept slamming.
Wallace was the toughest son of a bitch I ever seen, man.
Yeah. But now I remember. See, I remember the after that night back at the hotel. Jimbo showed up with all after all the fighters already in the room, and when you put a bunch of fighters in a room with a bunch of alcohol, they all started drinking. Next thing we know, we got guys hanging out the windows trying to spit on Jimbo on top of him as he's coming to the hotel.
Yeah. I wrestled Nate Jolly that night, man. I pinned him down pretty good, but he's a world class wrestler too. But don't tell nobody I outweighed him by almost 200 pounds.
That's that's the night that I threw a chair at Mosh. So I was the only underage one in our room, and so I went to sleep because I knew I was going to end up driving the next day because we had drove all the way from London to Bowling Green, so I knew I was going to have to drive back, and you lose an hour of sleep. So I wake up in the middle of the night. It's like 2 in the morning. I've got Mosher trying to dry hump me in the bed, and him drunk as a dog. So I just turn over and grab a chair and just throw it across the room.
Yeah.
Mosh just catches it and sets it down and goes, "Go back to sleep, little buddy." And starts. I was like, "You bitch."
That
Good
dude
times,
said they
though.
filmed the pilot for Justified in Pittsburgh and 38 episodes in California. When I watched, I thought they were filmed in Kentucky.
They
No.
had some places that they like a crew went around and filmed like small areas for like I guess backdrops and stuff, but for the most
Yeah.
part it wasn't filmed here.
They had, but in the story, they made it seem like Lexington and Harlan were neighboring
Yeah.
cities or something. We'll go up to Lexington and they would be there in 10 minutes. It's actually a 2.5 hour drive from Harlan to Lexington.
Yeah. Well, I think the only city they mentioned Corbin in it. They mentioned Cumberland. They mentioned McQuarrie County. So that they mentioned the areas down toward Corbin and stuff like that, but then they never mentioned London. I think maybe one episode they might have mentioned London, but they mentioned the areas, but you never really see them.
Yeah.
They done a good job though. The one thing I liked about the show, they didn't portray Kentucky to be just stupid people like most TV shows do. They portray us to be hillbilly redneck crazy people, but then when you actually watch the show, they didn't portray that at all, which is what I loved about it.
Right. I got some more pictures of some under these cards, but we'll show those tomorrow or something. It's exciting, man, getting back into MMA. I can't wait.
So what's changed? Because I noticed a lot of the promoters are coming back. Is there a rule that changed?
No.
Because I was looking in to see if maybe there was something that changed. Because I know a lot of the promoters are coming back because I've had a few of them inbox me about running shows and want to know if I would be part of the cage crew.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you always got a job with me, bro.
I'm one of the very few cage crew, not to brag on myself, but I could actually, without even Jimbo telling us what to do, I could go in and put the show all together and have it done by 2:00.
Yeah.
And then the show don't start.
You and them Newberry guys, man, they're Tony and them and his brothers, they're really good.
Yeah.
Hard workers, and they try to get things done so they can sit back and watch,
Mm-hmm. Well, then the teardown. The worst thing about cage crew is the teardown at night because you have every fighter and their family and friends all want to come in there and take pictures. So you'll be in there an hour after the show waiting for them to take pictures, and you're trying to tear down the cage so you can leave. And,
yeah. Real soon, Mr. Nobody, I will let you know. I sure will.
As long as you don't run Turfway. If you run Turfway, I'm out. I'm not doing.
No, I'm not. I'm not going up north at all. Corbin, maybe London, but Corbin probably as far as I go.
Corbin Civic Center was always good. Now Somerset, the Center for Rural Development, has always been one of my favorite places to set up a show.
Yeah, they got some good teams over there too.
Yeah. Well, not only you got good teams, it's just a good atmosphere all the way around, and they've not had a show. The last show I remember there was Hard Rock Show, so they've not had a show in years. So that would be, I think that would be a killer place. Plus, you can open up all those bay doors, and I mean, man, oh man, the amount of people that was in there. And now they serve alcohol, which is something that they didn't do over there originally.
Yeah, last time I was over there, they had alcohol.
hmm it's weird though because they like come in there with a little keg and they like pump it up and sell it by the cup, and they make a fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when we did the arena, we got, we split the food and beverage 50-50. So we made, you know, I can't remember what the check was. I think me and Tim split $10,000
Yeah.
just on food and beverage.
There a lot of people, if you wasn't around in that time period, whenever I remember going to Jimbo's show, you would show up to a show and they'd be 5-10 fights on the card. By the end of the night, you've had 30 fights because people from the audience would just walk up and be like, I want to fight.
Yeah, that was the crazy days, man.
Be in the
Before
back
that,
just matchmaking.
hey, I tell you, man, I had one of the fights in Harlem, one of my first fights. I had this guy come up to me in the locker room. He goes, Mr. Collins, do I have to wear a mouthpiece? I said, yeah, that's the rule, buddy. He goes, and he opens his mouth and he don't have a tooth in his head. He goes, I don't have no teeth. Yeah, I was like, well, shit, if you don't want to wear one, don't wear one.
I remember there was one young boy that fought a show, and he was missing an eyeball.
Yeah,
like he
that
legit
guy
had a glass eye, and he could fight, man. Like he was legit. But then, old Doc ruled him out. Like I'd seen him fight like 2 or 3 different times, and then finally the doctor stepped in and goes, "Up due to the new rules, we can't let you fight no more." And
he was tough, old son of a bitch. He fought Chancellor Edmondson to a draw or to a decision.
Yeah,
that was cool.
What are you talking about? Bobby Rudder had a 186 fight record.
Dude, that dude will fight anybody, wouldn't
he? Anybody. It didn't matter who it was.
I seen him fight Junie Browning and another guy in the same night.
Well, he fought in Somerset. He fought Sean Fredericks and that other guy in the same night for you. Within 5 minutes and beat both of them.
Yeah. But y'all don't know it. I don't know if y'all remember, Junie Browning was on The Ultimate Fighter and did real well, and then he got signed by the UFC.
Mm-hmm. And I actually talked to Junie the last time I worked a Hard Rock show, and everybody was calling him Junie, and he looked at me and goes, "I don't want to be called Junie no more." And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, he said, he said, "Call me Alan from now on." Shook my hand, and he walked over, and me and him was sitting there talking, and everybody like was doubting him, and I looked at him and was like, you know, at the point I looked at him and said, "Alan, just go ahead, man, and show him what you're made of." He decimated that guy.
Yeah, he's badass, bro.
Yeah, he was showing him that he was a whole different person, and I've always had respect for Junie.
He's got those grenades tattooed on his fist for a reason.
Yeah, he was good, man. But
he's explosive.
Yeah, those whenever you had those fighters, I remember that night in Somerset when Rudder fought the one guy because Fredericks hadn't showed up and you all booked him to fight, and then Frederick showed up and you had promised Rudder that if he won both fights, you give him a title shot in Harlan or Middlesboro 1, and he ended up beating Sean Fredericks in the 3rd round with a knee. And I actually was training Rudder at the time, and we took him down there, and he ended up fighting James Breeden for the title down there, and actually was doing really well against Breeden.
Yeah, do you remember when James Breeden fought Junie in Frankfurt, and they got in a fight afterwards?
See, I didn't get to go to the Frankfurt show. See, I missed Frankfurt.
Like they announced Junie as the winner. You know how they both come to the center of the ring and announced Junie as the winner, and Breeding said something to him, man, and Junie just bitch slapped him, like slapped the shit out of him.
Listen, I remember the riot in Harlan.
Everybody's wanting to fight.
Yeah, I remember the riot in Harlan. Like I legit remember the riot in Harlan because I remember at the time CJ has his demons, and you know my relationship with CJ, but I remember him looking at me, and he took my cousin and threw her because they had these like mats that was stacked up on the side. He took her and threw her up on the mats and told me that if anybody gets close to her, and I mean, you're just looking at everybody is fighting, not just like one person. The whole audience like just started fighting.
It was nuts.
Hell yeah, dude. That's all.
TJ and Chris Brewer were there. Yeah. Kilgore started that fight.
Yes.
Did he?
Yeah.
No shit.
He threw a like when after the Marco and Scott Hope fight.
Yeah.
Marco was like the local hero or whatever. Well, Kilgore was there with Scott, and Scott was one of my training guys too. You know, like he lives in Corbin or did live in Corbin. He lives in Florida now, but when Scott beat Marco, because Ernie said Marco won't never tap out. He'll never tap out. Scott busted his ass. Marco tapped out with his feet, his hands. He was like a baby slapping the mat. And when they announced Scott as the winner, Kilgore threw something across the ring and hit Marco's girlfriend with it. Like a bottle of beer or cup of something or something.
Cup of something. I think it was a Pepsi cup.
Yeah, it might have been, yeah. But then all hell broke loose, bro. It was nuts.
Well, we was running that one show in Louisville for Hard Rock, and we had a guy had gotten beat. His mother was crying out in the audience. So you had Rodney and DA. They stopped this woman at the door and said, "Ma'am, you can't go back here. It's fighters and trainers only." And all of a sudden, this woman was determined. Next thing you know, Rodney turns around and looks, and this woman takes off running. DA goes to hold her. Her son comes up, clocks Rodney, and all hell breaks loose. And they finally get it all calmed down, and the situation's resolved, and there's like 7 security and fighters trying to hold them back. Next thing you know, here comes a Louisville Metro police officer with OC spray and just sprays it over top of everybody.
Oh, my God.
And they soak everybody in it. We're all burning. Well, people didn't think after the show when you're tearing these cages apart. Here you've got DA and Rodney, and we're pouring water on them, trying to get them to quit burning. And every time they're sweating, that spray is coming back down into their eyes, and they're just it was bad.
In Harlem, when the fight broke out, those state troopers were holding Marco's girlfriend, Linda Hornsby, and they went to mace her or whatever they had, and she ducked out of the way, and then they maced each other. They couldn't handle her, man. She's badass too.
Some of the stuff that you run into at these shows, like I remember DA, his second fight, not his first one, because the first one was funny. He just run around in a circle in the cage. But
I'd ref that fight.
Yeah, the second one, I had to chase him. It was at a London Armory, and I had to chase him all the way across the highway to get the gloves back for the cage because he ran off with the gloves.
His first fight was against J.D. Bowling, the guy that ran the Manhattan Club. And they were in the ring, and J.D. didn't even hit him. He swung, and D.A. started going, I quit. And so D.A. took off running around the cage. J.D. following him, swinging, and I'm following J.D. because I'm reffing, and I'm trying to hold J.D. back, and he's a strong son of a bitch, man. I was just trying to hold him long enough for D.A. to get out of there.
He was just running around in a circle around the cage.
Yeah, it was funny as hell. And then, like you said, in that one fight in London, he came out to his music, got up in the cage, and just turned around before they locked the door and ran down the steps, out the doors, and down the street.
Run down the street, across the highway to a Mexican restaurant, and here you're looking at Jimbo and Jerry and all. They was like, "Where's the gloves?"
Yeah, like,
and come find out, DA still had the gloves on, so I had to run across the highway and get the gloves and bring them back.
What was you saying, Kemper?
I was just going to ask. Remember Brian Kilgore about dropping Ernie on his head for some reason? I can't remember the real.
We were standing outside a little bar called Angels and Wings in Corbin, and Chuck Helton was out there. You know Chuck, and Brian Kilgore and Jody Disney. JD Biggs. And we were talking like, masculine talk. And Ernie looks at Kilgore out of the blue and says, I can beat you striking. Kilgore just snapped, bro, and picked him up and was going to dump him. And I was like, no, man, don't hurt him. He don't mean no harm. He's just a little fella, like. Kilgore set him down, said, you're lucky you know Jimbo.
I was going to say, he was pretending that he was going to go get a haircut whenever he was trying to play his little game, if you remember.
I made the worst mistake one night. We was at Jerry's gym down there on Mill Street when he had the gym down there connected to Warren's boxing gym. And
Yeah.
I looked at Chuck and I said, I could take a chair shot. Yeah, I took a chair shot, all right. Chuck rung my fucking bell with it.
Yeah.
Hey, I got up, but God, he hit me.
Chuck's a freaking beast, man. He still is.
Still is. Till this day, Chuck's in really good shape.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the one time I ever had a mix up with Warren. We was at Warren's boxing gym, and I was the only MMA guy, and I was doing boxing, you know, helping out. It's mixed martial arts for a reason. I'd done Taekwondo.
Yeah, you got
most of my
training and
life.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was working with Warren on boxing, and Warren got to be a smartass, which I don't know why he was being a smartass toward me, but he got in the ring, and all his little boxing buddies was all scared to get in the ring with him. I was like, well, hell, I'll get in the ring with him and, you know, spar. We got in there, and Warren just started. I mean, he hit me as hard as he could. Well, the next thing you know, Jimmy Haynes walks in. And Jimmy looked at Warren and goes, bullshit. Jimmy come over and held the ring ropes, and I climbed out of the ring, and he looked at me and goes, you all right, son? I said, yeah. He goes, let me see your gloves. He got in there, and yeah. Him and Shane Steele, they was protective of his younger ones. But, you know, and Warren had that image about him sometimes where, and I don't know if it was just his way of thinking. He was a good guy, but sometimes he wanted to stroke his ego a little bit, I guess.
Warren had roid rage a little bit too. Yeah, he was a little bit of a.
Yeah, but Shane and Jimmy put him in his place that day, and I mean they really put him in his place. So, but that's the only mix-up I ever had with Warren, all except for the Isaiah Warren, whatever fight it was supposed to have been. It wasn't MMA, but it was oh god, the one where Tim Stout walked up and told Warren that he would box him, hell, he would even thumb wrestle him or something.
Yeah, Tim Stout will fuck him up too.
Yeah, it was good.
You know what they call him, right? Moab.
Yeah, Moab.
You know what that stands for?
Not exactly. I just knew him as Moab.
Mother of all bombs.
I know that night after the Isaiah fight and Warren's in the ring doing his whole little speech thing, and Tim walked over and told him, said, hell, I'll box you, I'll kickbox you, hell, I'll thumb wrestle you.
Yep. He would have too, man. Y'all need to follow, if you're on TikTok, look him up. Tim Moab Stout. He does free, like, you know, tips on fighting and self-defense on there. It's awesome. Tim's a really good guy, man. We had speaking of Tim, we had
You're right.
What's his name on The Evil on here.
Yeah. I missed. I seen most of that show that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always my favorite team to watch. Period. When those guys come to town, oh my god, it's so fun.
Casey Oxendown produced a bunch of beasts, buddy. He sure did.
Well, now I got to give credit. What was Rodney? Might have been. What was it? The one out of that little town, Danville, I think it was.
Rodney Finn?
Yes. Now I always liked his team. Whenever
they were always respectful, really good.
Yeah, I always liked his team. They was pretty nice guys, and a couple of them got in there and rode around with us before the show. Because once we got the Cage Crew, once we got done, guys, we would just sit back, and a lot of the fighters would show up and they'd want to roll around, and yeah.
I heard he's in a lot of trouble with the law.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen him, but I remember his team as far as being respectful.
That's what you know, Brian Hooper. He's the one who told me that.
I ain't seen Brian Hooper in forever.
He calls him Mr. Finn. Still.
I always wanted to fight one more time. Yeah, I always wanted to fight one more time just to show the kids that Daddy still can get out there and do it if I wanted to do it.
Lord, how old are you now?
35.
We can get you a fight.
Yeah, but I'd have to have somebody that's over the hill.
We'll match up evenly. Somebody
I'll get Bobby Rudder. I'll get Bobby Rudder to come out of retirement and fight me one last time.
He'd probably do it. He'd probably do it.
That way I
I
can
guarantee
win in the first before I'm out of breath.
Yeah. quick submission.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fellas.
He's got it coming. He's got it coming, by the way.
Rudder? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He said some stuff to you, didn't he? About your
He said some stuff about my dad. He's got it coming.
Yep.
Just a matter of time.
Yeah, you'll bump into him eventually.
Mm-hmm. He knows it, too, because he runs. He calls my dad a thief and a liar and told me he was happy he was dead and everything else. It's payback's coming.
Yep.
He'll get it.
Yep. Markella has a live schedule for Wednesday, y'all. I can't remember the time, but I had it pinned up there earlier. But
7 Central.
7 Central. So is that 8 our time?
Yeah.
Right.
Wednesday, 8 our time. We're normally off on Wednesday, so I'll probably check that one out for sure. And she has invited Ernie on panel.
Yeah, he'll show up, man. And he's going to show up to try to manipulate her a little bit and try to twist the narrative that he's a good guy and he's been mistreated and he's a victim.
Yep. That's what he always does.
I might tune in for that show. Might be interesting.
Yep. So I'll be there in chat.
Markel, I've had to throw him off of this panel, so he's probably going to end up doing it. But yeah, like I said, he's going to try to manipulate and twist narratives.
James, have you seen all the videos we play on Ernie?
Most of them. Usually when you guys are streaming, I'm generally watching something else because I got the kids that I take care of all the time. So when you all stream late, I'm able to stay up a little bit later because they're already asleep.
Yeah. Is that you or your brother that has the Pomeranian?
That's my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother has a Pomeranian and does. That's why when me and you even had our little beef back and forth, you had mentioned the wallets, and I'm like, I don't do that. My brother does. So
yeah, I thought it was you. I thought that was you. I thought you because that's your dad's name, right?
Well, Henry is my brother. George was my dad, but his middle name he never had a middle name, so the government put Henry in there. It's weird, but no,
Really?
That's my brother. Yeah,
That's weird. My mom, she's only got one name, and it's Jacqueline.
yeah. They for some reason on his thing, his name is George Caldwell. He didn't have a middle name or nothing. Then they just added George H. And we asked the Social Security. We thought, why did you put George H? And he's like, for Henry. And supposedly it's because it was his dad's name. I guess they thought it was a family name, so they just added it to it.
That's crazy, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the video of Ernie? What he actually does is slip on black ice. It falls.
Mm-hmm.
But he claimed that Kemper had shot him with a rubber bullet.
I coordinated the attack.
Yeah.
Coordinated attack on Ernie. You're some kind of private investigator / military person, Kemper, that hides
Well,
in
you know how we do it, man. From Michigan. It don't matter where you're at. We're going to get you from Michigan.
Wait, so
Where was
since
he
you're
at?
from
Kansas?
Michigan,
Wasn't he in Kansas or something?
Kansas or Missouri, one of the two.
Yeah, it's Missouri, I believe. Yeah.
So are you a hockey fan, Kemper?
Not really. I grew up in the South, and we didn't have too much ice and hockey down there, so.
I figured you was a Red Wings fan.
I mean, I do like the Red Wings.
No, you don't mention it.
I'm just not a fan of hockey.
Yeah.
I went and went on my spree like in 2001 or 2002 when they won the Stanley Cup with Dominic Hasek and all of them.
So
It was cool. Even the celebration parade, they had it like you guys were talking about, where they walked around with a pump and they basically had the whole thing on their back and just passing out beers.
Oh,
There's like 500,000 people in those fucking streets too. It was wild in Detroit.
So I got
That's
some
good
breaking
shit.
news that just come out about Trump. I'm
What
going to
is-
read into this. Supreme Court decided to rule with Trump, stating that he was not in any violation.
Really?
Yeah,
Good.
U.S.
Real?
Supreme Court on Monday vindicated former President Trump, who has argued for more than 3 years he is immune from criminal prosecution stemming from his statements and actions surrounding the January 6th. In a 6-3 decision, justice has found that the president enjoys constitutional protection from criminal prosecution related to all actions taken in an official capacity.
Wow.
That just got released and it broke 15 hours ago.
Damn. That's good stuff. Hey, you want to watch Ernie fall?
I'm down.
Let's watch him hit the damn ground.
Lord, who is that
Aaron?
big mouth bastard in the back? Is that me? Is that my back feed? No, that's somebody else. Oh, hell.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Hey, Andrew, I appreciate you. I do appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, Ernie, you got a background.
Sorry, my
No,
shit's all pushed
that's
over here.
Andrew. That's Andrew.
Because the way you're saying stuff now, I believe you. I do.
Andrew, how many machines you running?
Hey, Andrew.
What? Yes, dear.
Andrew, have you ever did you ever get to see or talk to Summer?
I seen her for maybe a split second as we were reloading the U-Haul from the storage unit. I mean, I didn't see her that long, but from what I seen, she was a typical child running amok.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like Summer.
And but Summer,
typical
but
child running
Hunter.
amok. I mean, and no, whoever is under Don Wells in the chat, though, sorry for cutting you off, man, they just got to chill.
I don't know if it's Don. I'm pretty sure it is Don. It's his logo, and this is pretty much what, it's his MO too. It's what him and Candace do. They want to always interfere with anything to do with Summer.
Hi, Don. Hi, Don. Hi.
Every time we start talking about Summer, he wants to interfere with it. Anyone that comes upon panel that could help clear up some of their lies that they're telling, he wants to, intervene and cause problems. And you know that your son, Hunter is your son. You know that your son did not have anything to do with what happened to Summer. You know
He
that.
likes to point his finger at everyone except the source, and he knows who the source is.
Donald is pointing his finger at Hunter in order to keep the focus off of him and Candace and the real truth of what happened to Summer. You know that also.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying that's why I even started getting up here on why my name's even as big as it is now. Because this shit here, what I'm reading in your chat.
Here we go. Watch this.
Private group here. Our panel here. And it's
the
only reason why I come up out the shadows.
You should be reading the front chat, because the front chat is saying that they do not believe that Hunter had anything to do with what happened to Summer.
Right.
Hunter is a victim. Hunter is also a victim. Your son is a victim to all of this.
Oh yeah, sorry. Hold on.
When they go up there and they arrest, foul plays already came in
Down
to play
goes
on
Ernie.
December the 15th. I don't know if you know that or not.
No.
Well, yes, it has. And when they go up there and they make that arrest, if I was Hunter's parents, I would be wanting them prosecuted to the fullest for implicating my son into this bullshit.
Oh God. No, I had to go back on your live here on my phone, to see what peeps are saying. It's easier. It's a lot better. Like I said.
Dude, imagine what Chris Severe went through, going around all these places. Ernie dressed like he is, with his little sports jacket, his fucking Predator Hunter Nation button on him, his crocodile teeth hat, and a snakeskin boots.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So, if you ever watch the show Justified, there's a character named Dewey Finn, and he's supposed to be
Dewey Cole.
He's supposed to be a gator hunter, and I believe they based that whole story on Ernie being Dewey.
He does look like Dewey Crow, don't he?
Yeah, Dewey Crow, yeah.
He probably ripped him off, man.
No, I believe the writer. That looks just like him.
Looking back too, he was always talking about his family was badass and they were killers.
Yes, exactly.
Damn, that might be based on Ernie.
Dewey Crow is based on Ernie Shell. We're breaking the truth out.
What's the last name?
Dewey Crow.
Crow. Crowe, I think.
Yeah.
What was?
Hang
What
on,
was
let me
the
see if I
other?
can pull it up.
What was the other Dewey? Hit the guy that his dad popped in the head.
Dewey Curry.
Okay, I knew it was close. That's why I was like, "What the fuck?"
He even goes through like drugs and the whole 9 yards. I swear.
I was gonna say that's definitely sounding like a lot like Ernie.
Go back and watch Justified now, Kemper. You have to go back.
Oh,
and
I'm
watch
gonna
it.
have to, man. You got me interested. I'm like, okay,
because he
and
wears
I
a
mean, on
gator
top of it
skin.
all, Ernie being bow-legged like he is, and from a lot of people that I talk to, they say that Ernie in person looks like a little Mexican, and I
Oh
can
my
just
god!
see that whole get up.
Watch
Just
this. I got a
imagine.
little clip. Raylan puts Dewey in his place. I ain't watched it yet, but this is one of the clips. Let me speed it up a little bit so I don't bust my ass for this. Let's see.
Tell
Boyd, nobody wants to see him. Raylan Giddens.
Is Raylan confuses him and tells him that he's deputizing him as a marshal, and he believes it.
Yeah, it's definitely Ernie. Hell yeah, he man that big ass head.
The comparisons
It's
between the
all
way
Ernie.
they act is almost on point.
Damn, I'm gonna have to watch Justified all the way through again. That's a badass series.
It was, but the comparison between those two is like dead on locked. Like,
Yeah, he
Raylan
acts like a
tells him,
badass, but he's really the biggest pussy walking the face of the earth.
well, maybe
Yeah.
that's what it was. Maybe a cop showed up to deputize him, and Ernie believes he's a deputized marshal now.
Yeah. He's funny, man.
Hell yeah.
Oh god.
I mean, he's got the gator skin. He's got boots from supposed to be rattlesnake boots. All kinds of craziness. They based that character on Ernie Shell.
Hang on, I got another one.
Right.
Hang on, this is another good one.
Can't be showing too many of them. Ernie will think he needs to get the rights to.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not Ernie though. He was homeless.
Yeah.
He's a deputized marshal assistant.
Hitchhiking.
If I recall, his family wouldn't have nothing to do with him no more either.
Yeah, his family wouldn't have nothing to do with him.
Damn, Ern. That's pretty bad when you're like the damn Tiger King and the fucking joke of a new series.
Dewey Crow over there. He's even got the gator teeth.
Yeah, he does. It is after 3:00. I'm gonna have to go to bed, y'all.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
James. Come back and hang out with us sometime.
Yeah, no problem.
See you, buddy.
Have a good night, James.
Kipper, it's been another fun one, ain't it?
Yeah, it has.
Damn, we're starting to get these long lives back. I don't know if I can handle all that.
I was gonna say, man, we need to have like a intermission.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe set a time limit, a countdown,
it just cuts us off at a certain limit.
Yeah, I mean, it sure is fun, though. We can dunk on Ernie all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
Yeah, Ernie's a little lying ass bitch. Like
Do
when,
it, chill.
when you're having to go and pander
Markella.
to Gypsy, you're fucking you're slumming it, Ern.
Oh, he's at the bottom of the barrel, bro.
Yep. And he's
Yeah.
going to do anything he can to get people to come watch his chat. It don't matter if it's Gypsies or, well, he won't go to Nicolina's, but Markella, anywhere. He'll do it just to cause some controversy. So everybody comes and watches his live.
Yep.
That's what he does. He's sad. Especially Gypsy. Come on, bro. You were making fun of her not long ago. What happened to that shit? Fucking sad. But I'm not surprised Gypsy's over there coddling your balls.
No, Gypsy's always wanted his beanie.
Oh yeah, she's always been a tiger.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, buddy, what do you say we come back and do it again tomorrow night?
Alrighty.
You off tomorrow?
Yep.
We might start a little earlier then.
I work Thursday, but I'm off tomorrow.
Hell yeah. Well, until tomorrow night, actually later tonight, I'm Jimbo.
And I'm Kemper.
We're coming to you live from the stand.
Hey, Ernie, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Kate.
Do you have cancer?
I have tumors.
Do you have cancer?
There you go.
You said
All right, just to confirm,
liver cancer had metastasized from another spot, but you wouldn't reveal
I don't
the
even know what
spot.
the metastasize is, but I'll go with it.
You know what? If you had an oncologist, you would know exactly what that fucking word means. You would know what that word means if you
2.5
had
centimeter
cancer.
damn tumor in the liver. Okay, there you go.
I have herpes.
That's what I have.
Please help me, Facebook.
That's what I have.
This was diagnosed from a doctor. This was diagnosed from a doctor.
No, it's diagnosed from your mama that she needs to take the computer screen away from you and slap you with it.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude, crack your hole or two. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently, thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes my dynasty.